Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are here for the last match of Super Rugby Pacific, round 11. We've had some pretty close games and a few upsets along the way, which has been absolutely awesome to see. But I hope you guys are all excited for this game. Hurricanes taking on the Brumbies at GIO Stadium, and it should be an absolutely awesome matchup. We've got a lot of people here already. We have got Tesla, Lottie, also Betty and Amelia. I hope you guys are all doing well. And do let me know your score predictions for this matchup. Currently, as the table sits, the Blues, they are sitting in first with 10 games played, 9 wins. Of those 10 games, the only side that can actually match that are the Brumbies. As you can hear my voice trying to disappear a little bit. Hopefully it does last throughout it. But I'm looking through at the lineup. I see Xavier Numia is actually in the starting lineup for the Hurricanes. So I think they've got a couple late changes, maybe. But we will go through them in a very short moment. First of all, though, we'll look at the Brumbies. Scott Co, Lachlan Lonergan, and Sefo Kautai there as the front row. Then it's Darcy Swain and Cadron Neville as the 4-5. Rob Valentini, Pete Samu, and Jerome Brown as the loose forward trio. Then from there, it is going to be Nick White, Noah Lolesio, I should say, as the number 10. Ire Simoni, Lena Cattell, Andy Muirhead, Tom Wright, and Tom Banks as the backline. We have also got the Yo says the IGL Panda. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing well. So this will be another one down to the wire, says Novmum. I believe so. Every game of this round has been split by 5 or less points, which is crazy for our round of Super Rugby. How close it has been. Hurricanes will win. And also we got the Amelia says Lottie. So do let me know your score prediction for this matchup. But it is not Body Rickety Stones in the number 1 jersey. Instead, it is going to be Xavier Numia. Late change made by the Hurricanes. James O'Reilly at 2 and Tyrell Lomax is there at number 3. Then James Blackwell and Justin Sandster will be the 2 locks for this game. TK Howden, Blake Gibson, and then Artie Savia there at number 8. And also Arthur Kane. Say, Hamish, welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing well. Hope you're excited for this game. Also, New Zealand through to the quarterfinals in the 7s, which is very nice news. They are going to be playing Canada in their 7s quarterfinal. But TJ Perenara, that's going to happen quite a bit. I feel like my brain is running slower than my mouth at the moment. As we did have a quick nap before this match because I had been up for like 20-something hours. But Artie Savia with his brother Julian both making their way out onto the field at the moment. TJ Perenara, Jackson Garden Bishop as the 9-10, Peter Umangan Jensen, Balin Sullivan, Salisi Rayasi, Julian Savia, and Geordie Barrett. That is going to be the starting lineup. Has scored 13 tries in 23 games. That is Salisi Rayasi currently. And in Super Rugby Pacific has been able to get himself the 4. Hoping to see Jackson Garden Bishop do well today. I know that he's always someone that everyone looks at as trying to set that next level because, unfortunately for the Hurricanes in the past, it has been their fly half who gets a majority of the blame for their losses. And Jackson Garden Bishop, he is going to be having that role for this game. So we will have to wait and see exactly how he ends up going. But currently now, it is going to be the Brumbies making their way out onto the field at GIO Stadium. All the games, with the exception of the Force versus Blues, the final scores were all in the 20s, says Novmum there. And that game was extremely close to the 20s as well. So I guess, I don't know what's happened this round, but it seems like all of the games have had perfectly matched up sides for this round, which is quite cool to see. And hopefully it continues because I love seeing a close game. Go Hurricanes, go. Says Reed there, but Tom Bank returns after 4 weeks absence with injury. So he'll be excited to go in this game. He is the second Tom of the day. As you guys who know my lineups video will know, there are 4 Toms in the lineup for the Brumbies. 2 in the starting lineup, 2 in the reserves. And also, I subscribe. Appreciate you, mate. And it is hugely appreciated indeed. And we have got plenty more of Super Rugby, plenty more of the 7s coming in the near future. And also, we've got their Monday tomorrow, yes. And yes, says Reed, it certainly is. And also, that's only because he used to play for the Rebels, and I tend to keep an eye out for former players. You play for just 1 game for the Rebels, you're a Rebel for life, says Amelia and Artie and Julian. Good to see the Mad Lads back, says Desla. Yeah, the brothers going to be together in the starting lineup. And Balin Sullivan, I can't imagine him and actually Zahn Sullivan in the same time. That would be an interesting matchup. Definitely if they both went to the Hurricanes. Who knows, maybe they'll have to offer him some big money, Zahn, to get him there. But this game's going to be kicked off. Go the mighty Hurricanes. And there says the truth teller, but this is going to be taken nicely by Julian Savia. Start this match off for the Hurricanes. Balin Sullivan hit hard in the tackle from Jerome Brown. So able to take him down, still inside of the 22. And Perenara fires him back into the pocket for Jackson Garden Bishop. And he does get a very good clearing kick. Tom Banks doesn't decide to take the quick throw, and it will be a line out from halfway. We have got there. This will be a good game. Says it was CLC. Hopefully I've said that correctly, or have I got that slightly wrong? Do let me know. And also the only way I don't say is if you bad talk the club after your departure. Well, there you go. Luckily for Garden Bashaby is not. That's going to be a knock on from Rob Valentini. Justin Sangster picks it up. Brumbies by 26. Sex's prediction there. That would be a massive win for the Brumbies, that is for sure. But now it's going to be Balin Sullivan trying to go straight through a gap 40 metres out from the line. And Renato with the quickly recycled ball. Pori Rickety Stones. He is nowhere to be seen in this game. Instead, Xavier Numia does get the start. And I believe it is, I want to say Miletuni, but I believe he is actually playing for a different side in Super Rugby. Now quickly recycled once again. That looked like it could have almost been a bit of obstruction. Someone has lost a boot as well in the process. Perenara goes back across to Sangster, or as I like to call him, the tall Kyle Mills. And now Geordie Barrett passes it back across to Peter Umaga Jensen. A little bit of aggression from him early on, trying to break through the tackle to Tom Wright, who is back out on the right wing after Tom Banks does return to fullback. He has been slotting in 15, 14, and actually 11 at times throughout this season. Jackson Garden-Bishop now off to Julian Savia. Sees a gap ball. He's just tried to run over the top of Tom. He's only just returned. That is Tom Banks, of course. Now Perenara passes back to TK Alden. How's everybody doing? Says Ed, I'm doing very well. I'm excited. I woke up about 15 minutes ago, but I was not going to be missing this game. Peter Umaga Jensen. I'm going to be tackled very hard. Now one in the low tackle from Noel Alessio. Perenara, 10 phases in a row here for the Hurricanes. Nice pop pass up to Geordie Barrett. It was slightly forward though, but they will be going back for the initial advantage. And the Hurricanes, this would be an easy 3 if they want to. Let's go Brumbies. There's Ed. All right, so offside straight out in front of the posts. Julian Savia, though, he's looking like he's going to be dangerous for the early stages. Tom Banks, no, that was way too high for Tom Banks to try and tackle him, unfortunately. You've got to go around probably the waist and lower for Julian Savia. Trying to tackle him around chest height is just asking to get run over, and he learned that the hard way. But he is luckily still all right. It is good to see him back from his injury. I see that the Knights and the Storm are actually playing in the NRL. I forgot that name completely. And Tom Banks to score a try. And also, Robert, I said, always enjoy listening to you, call. And I do appreciate you being here, mate. So I guess my question, I will ask it once again. The time in the US, I always mess up my time zones. Middle of the night? No, it might be morning for you. Or nighttime. So I've pretty much covered everything in the whole day. But yeah, what time is it at the moment, Robert? Don't know. The bus just ran over someone. So yes, Desert there. And also we have got there. What's the score margin for this match? I believe I went the Brumbies by 7. I think was my prediction on the Brumbies by 8. I think in the end, I went with on my preview. That kick's gone over from Geordie Barrett. And the score now will be 3-0 in favour of the Hurricanes. So Geordie Barrett, he won't be minding that too much. He's back at fullback for this game. And 12:03 a.m. Okay, so you're sitting, I guess, to be fair, in a really roundabout way, I wasn't completely off saying that it was morning or it was night, because 12:03, it could be considered as both. I think that's a bit of a stretch though, isn't it? I just suck at time zones. Julian Savia taking that one nicely inside of his own 22. Perenara now waiting for this one to recycle it after Kyle Sangster. Does have another carry. I've seen quite a bit of him so far. No carries from James Blackwell throughout the first 4 minutes of this match. Geordie Barrett kicks it down long and taken nicely by Tom Banks just inside of his own half. And he's going to be attacking the line by the looks of it, trying to make a gap for himself. He does wrestled down by Blake Gibson. Now Nick White goes back across to Scott Seo. Tackled by his opposite number, Xavier Numia. Did actually miss a lot of the Bunnings NBC due to an injury. And it was a shame because it was actually something to do with, I believe it was either a concussion or a neck injury, but it looked pretty serious when he stayed down. 5 a.m. in Ireland. I just watched Katie Taylor win. And there says Jack. So Katie Taylor, I want to say that I know what sport we're talking. It's not pool, is it? No, I've probably got that wrong. Which sport are you talking, Jack? Do let me know. And also, we got there. Come on, Brumbies. So here's Ed Vogel. And at the moment, the Brumbies are certainly getting some good go forward for themselves. They're sitting 22 metres out. Greetings from Dubai, says Tom. I do appreciate you being here once again for a bit more Super Rugby boxing. I see. So I got that rather wrong way just a little bit. I feel like boxing's a little bit more intimidating than a game of pool, isn't it? We're all 6 Meters out for the line. Scott Seo off to Lachlan Lonergan. This is a very good attack and run here for the Brumbies as they continue to build phase after phase. It's a penalty going back, and Artie Savia's kicked that one away downfield. So now they could have the 3 points if they wanted, the Brumbies, and get themselves back into the contest we have got there. It is morning. The problem is I'll be up following the game. So tomorrow I'll suffer from lack of sleep. Says Robert there as well. See, that's the thing. I had to have a nap before this game. Like, I don't normally have naps, but I've been up for like 20 hours and my eyes were just feeling pretty like I just sat here like this pretty much while I was trying to do all of my work. So I was like, right, strategically have like a 4 hour sleep and then I should be good to go for this live stream. And then I'm still deciding whether or not I'm getting up at 5 a.m. to do the quarterfinals of the sevens or whether I wait till 9 a.m. and then end up doing the semi-finals of the sevens instead. And a record of 21 wins and 0 defeats now, that's fair to say. That's a very good record. And also, whoever there you are, Legend says, Tom, appreciate you, mate. And yeah, hope you guys are all enjoying the live streams that we have had so far for the weekend of Super Rugby, the URC. We've covered a little bit of the sevens. We have got all of those competitions in play to look out for each team. So I would say for the Hurricanes, Balin Sullivan's probably a name that isn't as popular as it should be. I guess I should say. Sorry, I should say quite a bit today. But then for the Brumbies, I will go with, I think Tom Banks being back is going to be quite a big one for them, but also Nick White and Jerome Brown. I'm just going to take the whole team, really, and Lollies with the kick. And yes, it has gone over. So now the score is going to be 3-3 between these two sides. That's gone out on the full from the Hurricanes. So that is a nice early mistake. I'm going to go like this. And we are going to go like this. But anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also, be sure to check out the Kiwi Lads Sport channel, as that is our second channel. We post all of our previews of these matches over there. So be sure to check that out if you do enjoy your Super Rugby. And also, we've got more coming up on that channel in a very short moment. Our goal was 850 subscribers by the end of the weekend. We are currently 9 away. If you do want to help us out, it is hugely appreciated. Currently scrum feed on the halfway line now for the Brumbies. We're already 8 minutes into this game. We are a 10th of the way through this contest, and it's felt like about 2 minutes, which I guess is always good when a game of rugby feels like it is going a lot quicker than it actually is, because or else then you're normally looking at a lot of scrums. Which game was it? I think it was Connacht versus the Sharks that we had like scrum simulator for the first half, of just scrum after scrum for handling errors. But Nick White puts this ball in for the Brumbies. It's a very solid one. Breaking off the back, Pete Samu. Bit of a set play looking like it's linking up here on the outside to the left-hand side. Great fend from Leonard Cattell. Geordie Barrett is just able to take him down on the 22. Noel Alessio passes off now into the hands of Sefo Kautai. So going forward, Nick White. One more. It's a big bump off from Jerome Brown. I would have run straight over the top of Peter Umaga Jensen. Now Nick White passes it across to the hands of Kadrian Neville. Oh, we're going back for a penalty though. Right, number 4. So I believe that's James Blackwell has been penalised there. And Nick Berry, he looks like he is well and truly in charge of this game for the early stages. But Leonard Cattell, he just hangs on to the ball, fends off Peter Umaga Jensen, just shoves into Geordie Barrett. And then it was another good backline movement. Peter Umaga Jensen, he's trying to make some big tackles, but he's just getting bumped off every time at the moment, unfortunately for him. And the worst thing as a player is when you think you're going to make a big hit on someone and you end up sitting straight down, unfortunately, from getting driven backwards. And Jerome Brown, he's got that pure power that can certainly cause that. Now, 10 minutes into this game, the Brumbies are going to be taking on the 3-point. Now, I remember the game between Leinster and the Stormers. We didn't actually have a try in that first half. This game, who knows, maybe it could be the same, but actually scored a career high points last week up against the Highlanders for Noel Alessio. So that is actually quite a stat. That one goes over, and now it makes the score 6-3. And also Brumbies will smash the Canes. So here's Craig there, and I hope it is a close game, just because we've seen all of the other games be extremely close. So if it does go within 5 points, I would be a very happy man either way of the result, just to be able to see some nice close rugby once again. But now Connor Garden-Basham, Jackson Garden-Basham, his brother, Tom Wright, having to look straight into the sun. He's done pretty well to be able to take that one. He's got back up to his feet, and he's gone again. Now he is wrestled down. Now 30 metres out from the Brumbies line, and Nick White will be putting up the box kick. Waiting for it strategically, just timing it for it to go up. Nick White is close to the touchline. It's taken very nicely by Geordie Barrett. Not a lot of space down the touchline. Gives it off to Salisi Rayasi on the inside, and also how they're playing it safer against the Canes. And yeah, I think it's just they haven't really had too much of the position yet. Julian Savia has given it up for Andy Muirhead, and now that's all he's going to need to be able to drive 40 metres out from the line for the Brumbies. Jerome Brown, that's a knock-on advantage they've gone with. That's pretty lucky, because that could have almost been a deliberate knockdown slapped out of the hands of one of the Brumbies players. I think Blake Gibson might have timed this. I'm going to come back to this message if that doesn't happen, says Hex. And although I believe Hex, was your one the one that was they're going to win by 26 points? Out of curiosity, Andy Muir getting that ball after Artie Savia, or in fact Julian Savia did end up missing out on that one. But Blake Gibson, I think, like they said, Nick Berry, he might have gotten that one slightly wrong, but it is going to be the scrum feed for the Hurricanes now. 12 minutes into this game at GIO Stadium. And it's a beautiful day for a game of afternoon rugby by the looks of it. It's always exciting. Next week, we've got a few more games taking place, a couple games coming to you guys live from New Zealand, and then also a couple other games. And maybe 26 was too much. Settle for 9 to 11 of the SSX. Now it's going to be passed across to Jackson Garner Mashup. Flung him behind to Balin Sullivan, who breaks the line nicely. Oh, it's slapped out of his hands by, it was, I believe, Tom Wright. They've said it's gone backwards. Now they've said it's a knock-on. And now Nick Berry does give it as a knock-on. Tell you what, he's not going to be a very popular man, Nick Berry, if they do end up going right. And also we have got that. It is not going to be close, this commentator thinks. It is going to be close. And there says Craig. I mean, that's the thing, though. Every other game of Super Rugby, no one thought the Crusaders versus Waratahs was going to be a close game. And the Waratahs able to win that one. And every game that we've had so far, we've had 4 games of rugby, or in fact, 5 games of rugby. All of these games of Super Rugby Trans-Tasman split by less than 4 points, or 4 or less. So it's going to be a tricky one. And also, Brumbies to win by 30 points. That is a very bold prediction, but I admire the confidence and the handling errors when the game's very sloppy. There's Tesla there as well. Currently now 13 minutes through this game, and the Brumbies have got themselves a 3-point lead with the scrum feed now, and it will be Nick White putting this ball in for the home side. Scrum reset. Quite a few scrum resets throughout the competition, unfortunately, but it's just one of those ones that even though like these guys are scrummaged for so long, there's always just trying to get that little tiny bit of an advantage over your opposition front row. This one, but the last game of Super Rugby Pacific round 11 next week, we have got the Blues taking on the Rebels, the Reds up against the Highlanders, Moana Pacifica Waratahs, Chiefs Brumbies, Western Force Crusaders, and Hurricanes versus the Fijian Drua. That is also going to be a Sunday game. Is that 3 weeks in a row? No, not quite. I thought it was 3 weeks in a row that we have seen the Hurricanes get an afternoon game, but not quite. I was they only picked the Landers by 11, Craig. And yeah, that is very true. The lowest side out of the New Zealand teams. And now Tom Wright breaking the line. He's dropped that ball, and now it's going to be a knock-on. And now, actually, no, they're going back for the initial penalty. So they are going to get them one back a little bit further. Nick Berry has ruled as a penalty for the front row collapsing in that scrum. And now it is going to be, I would say, more than likely a kick for touch. But looking at the scores from the first round, how different they are now. Like a lot of those games split by 13 plus, and now all of the games split by less than 4. And you really think it's going to be at least 33-3? And there's SSX. Now Tom Banks going to be kicking this one for the touchline. Does end up finding it with a nice clearing kick downfield for Tom Banks. And he'll be loving being back because he was missing for about 4 weeks, I believe it was, due to his injury. Now Lachlan Lonergan. This man has been impressive in recent times. He did get himself a Wallabies call-up not too long ago, and we'll be hoping to continue in there. I reckon whoever wins will win by less than 10 points. Says Tesla there. Yeah, should be a pretty close game, I would think, and going to be a close one. Says Tesla, currently sitting 22 metres out. It's going to be nicely in the hands of Simoni, who has lost his footing, though, unfortunately for him. So was unable to get that momentum going forward that he did want. Now straight on the ball for the Hurricanes. Justin Sangster unable to turn it over. Now Rob Valentini. Tackled by James O'Reilly. You've got to go down round the legs for Rob Valentini or else he'll just drive himself straight over the top of your Tom Banks. Attacking hard. The moment the ball was out at the back, but they have set another penalty advantage in favour of the Brumbies. Tom Banks back to Rob Valentini. And they have got that penalty advantage, so they can throw everything at the Brumbies. At worst, you've got your 3 points. That might be coming up very soon, but Nick White now trying to pierce through. It's another advantage against the Hurricanes. Now backline movement. Ray Simoni. In fact, it's Len Ikatel, who has been dragged down by Balin Sullivan. Now Nick White. Wow, he's gone flying from Kyle Sangster. Ball on the inside off to TJ Perenara, and now it will be going back for the initial penalty once again. 16 minutes into this game. We've already got a double blow of the whistle from Nick Berry. The Hurricanes might have to be a little bit careful. Okay, Nick Berry is just saying they've got 2 offsides. Be careful because you're currently giving away a lot of penalties. They've given away 4. They're going upstairs for a TMO, and I believe that will be for the shot on Nick White. As he did go flying. Remember, Artie Savia, believe they're saying that he kicked that ball out right at the back. Right, where is that big shot on Nick White? Because he went flying. Okay, I think it's that one of Sangster that they are just going to be going upstairs to have a look at. First glance, didn't think there was too much in it. It was slightly late, but it's just whether or not it's going to be like high, possibly, in this situation. But potential foul play against Nick White there. See, Alan Alatoa is on the water drinks, or on the water today. Gives him a pat on the back as well. Alan Alatoa will be great to see him back in action relatively soon. Scott Seo and James Slipper, though, they have really got those prop-in jerseys locked down. And then when you're looking at Taia prop, you've got Sasefo Kautai. Okay, he's got him slightly uppish. Shoulder on shoulder, I think, is the comment that they've just said. No attempt to wrap that, though. I think Sangster might get himself a little yellow card here. Oh. They're just checking this one again. Sangster might actually be in a little bit more trouble than I initially thought, because it looks like it's a little bit too high for him. There's no wrap of the arms. Okay, they've said shoulder to shoulder, which I think is going to save him a little bit. He's still going to end up with a yellow card and slice of cheese coming out. Yes, Tesla, it is indeed. So yellow card for Justin Sangster here. And that is going to be probably quite lucky, because if he caught him half an inch higher, he was going to end up going off the field for the rest of this game. Now, Justin Sangster, he's off the field, so he probably will be sitting there going, wasn't the best idea, was it? And I said, it's getting out of hand now. CSX, and they were already warned for penalties against them, and now doing that as well. The referee's going to be keeping an extra close eye on them for the later stages of this game. But Sangster, he is still going to be off the field for the next 10 minutes. And also, has there been a card every single game so far? CSX, I think so. And a lot of the games, it has been a red card that we've seen. So hopefully this game, we don't get to see a red card, just because we've had so many of them throughout the season. Like I said at the start of my last live stream, like the TAB odds at the start of the season, it was $9 for there to be a red card in the match. Now it's about $3.50, which just shows you how drastically that has dropped in just a short amount of time. Manolo Alessio going to be lining up this kick. And if he gets this one over, that will give them a 6-point lead now over the Hurricanes. But currently, the distance of 19 meters, he's got a probability of 97%. Manolo Alessio, he won't be thinking about that last little 3. And also Saturdays last night, 13 versus 15 near the end. And they just got that one over Manolo Alessio. And now the score is going to be 9 points to 3. And always the task game, have red cards involved. Says Hex there. Because did the Waratahs, they had a yellow card earlier in the game, didn't they, as well? For the same thing as the later yellow card. And then there was that red card as well, which was not smart for the Waratahs. Or sorry, for the Crusaders, I should say. And like they're saying, if you're not wrapping your arms, that straight away is something that they look at. So you got to make sure at least wrap your arms, and then you get yourself maybe slightly let off the hook. But if you're not wrapping, you're going to get yourself more than likely a yellow card. But taken nicely from Tom Wright and Kiet Kaha, Hurricanes. And there says Clayton. And as I say, is yet to be beat a team wearing blue, or yet to beat a team wearing blue. Geez, that's a stat and a half, isn't it? It's going to be taken very nicely. Although now Geordie Barrett going through guard and Bishop with a good run forward. And that's the thing, that man could run probably 150 meters in the game, and people would still say they need a different fly half. He's just like, unfortunately for the Hurricanes, it is always that question of who will be the number 10. Ruben Love, he seemed to have a few fans behind him. Aidan Morgan, I haven't heard too much about whether or not people are enjoying what he's done with the ball in hand. I thought he did pretty well in his debut this year, at least. CSX there now. Jackson Garden-Batcher passes it off with a short ball. Off to the bus, Julian Savia. 6 phases in a row here. Perenara back to now Blackwell. Geordie Barrett sells the dummy now. Offloads to Peter Umaga Jensen. Inside ball off to TJ Perenara. Isn't able to find the offload that he was possibly looking for there. Blake Gibson now going off to the short side. Salisi Rayasi off to Balin Sullivan. Good run forward. In fact, that was TK Howden who was going down the wing as if he was a back. Howden, that was a pass over forward. Unfortunately, it did end up missing everyone there. Jackson Garden-Bishop tidies it up. And now still 22 meters out. Perenara off to Xavier Numia. Still just available for the Canes after 10 phases now back-to-back. Trying to find their way over the try line for the first time in this match for either side. Now Perenara back to Xavier Numia. That sounds like I've just repeated myself, but that is exactly what they did. It almost looked identical the last time that man got the ball. Now Salisi Rayasi looking for the cheeky offload. Isn't able to find it though. Hurricanes 13 phases. Haven't really made too many meters in the process either. Definitely not in the last about 7 or 8 phases now. Perenara got to attack and run this time, getting some good extra meters. Gets back up to his feet. Tries to go again. James Blackwell rolls it back. Salisi Rayasi running a little bit too high there, so he does end up getting shut down pretty quickly. Now Perenara goes back across to Xavier Numia. Those two seem to know each other quite well. They do both play for Wellington and the Bunnings NBC, so I assume that is where that connection comes from. Alongside a lot of these players, actually, now that I think about it. For the Hurricanes, that is a penalty to the Brumbies. And it was Tom Wright who was able to win that penalty. I think Salisi Rayasi is a bit disappointed with that one, but still congratulates Tom Wright on his turnover. 6 minutes left of the yellow card, and also it is still 20 minutes left of this first half. So it was, in the end, Tom Wright. Tell you what, that is not a great clear out from Blake Gibson. He got his legs well and truly set, and they weren't able to move Tom Wright. But 18 phases in a row, and they were unable to get themselves over the real advantage line. So I think that will give the Brumbies a lot of confidence going into the later stages of the second half. Definitely with a man advantage for the next 5.5 minutes. Now it's going to be the line out for the Brumbies, and it is Lachlan Lonergan. We'll be getting ready to throw this ball in. Going to the front of Pete Samu, taking it nicely. And I'm looking forward to seeing that man in open play because he has got leg drives and power for days. Lachlan Lonergan currently with this rolling ball. They're trying to shut it down. Artie Savia still trying to push it towards the touchline. Nick White instead puts up the box kick, and Tom Wright will be after this one. Chasing hard. Taken nicely by Salisi Rayasi. And now once again, Tom Wright sets himself. Not able to get the turnover that time, though. Perenara now back to Blackwell. Does take the carry. A couple extra meters, mate. Wow, where did he come from? I think that was Jerome Brown. Might have gone on a push there. Now, Geordie Barrett decided to try and go for the pick and go. Now it's going through. Jerome Brown's just flopped over the top there, so he is giving away the advantage. Now, Julian Savia, ball on the outside to Peter Umaga Jensen. Now, Perenara, he saw half a gap. It did close down extremely quickly, and he's forced into touch by Lena Cattell. And also by, it was Tom Banks, I believe it was. I'm back to the middle of the field for the penalty for the player leaving feet. This could be an easy 3 for the Hurricanes if they want it. Or do they decide, okay, Perenara's pointing at the post. Or is he? Was that a point at the post or the point at the corner from him? Geordie Barrett's going to have this ball either way. It was a good attack and run. Where does Jerome Brown come from? Okay, no, he's come on the side as well. That didn't quite work out for him there. And now from 15 meters out, he has got the tee here now, Geordie Barrett. He's decided to back himself just inside of the half, 51 metres out here. Going to be a big strike of the ball, but Jordie Barrett can often do it. And also we have got there, go for the most kill times for the yellow card. Exactly right. They have strategically maybe coach and roll for yourself in the future, Tesla. Although you do mention how you are often drinking, so maybe you wouldn't be allowed to do that on the job, but after the job's done, beverage. 23 minutes gone in this first half, and still 3 minutes left of that yellow card of Justin Sangster. But like you mentioned, the more time that this uses up, the better, because, you know, they can just chill out. 14 versus 15 is never fun, but when you're not having to run round as much with 14 versus 15, it does make it a lot more tolerable. Good shot from Jordie, but it's gone away to the left. So it is going to be an unsuccessful conversion attempt for Jordie Barrett. And now it is going to be a 22 dropout. How much does this miss by? Just creeping away to the left, probably by about half a metre to a metre. Now Nick White, he is looking for the 22 dropout now. That one has gone up. And into touch on the full. What does that mean? I don't think I've seen a 22 dropout go into touch on the full in a very long time. So I believe now they get a scrum from where he kicked it from. And I drink straight after I clock out, says Tesla there. But Nick White got a little bit too much on that one. And I was like, OMG, here's the X there. But that is a big mistake to make for the Brumbies in the early stages of this match. And Nick White, he was just hoping that that ball would slow down. But yeah, I don't remember the last time I actually saw like a 22 go out. Same with the goal line dropout and also a scrum, says Tesla. So yeah, they do get to go back to where it was from. Because I know that you're also allowed to, I think the other option is they're allowed to kick it again, aren't they? But I don't think the Hurricanes would take that one when they have got the scrum option on the 22. I think they'd rather go with that. And at the moment, GIO Stadium, few empty seats, unfortunately, in the background. But I believe maybe Sunday afternoon games are not going to be as popular as the Saturday night fixtures in the Brumbies. They've got a big game coming up next week that's gone down in the front row. They've been told to use it. Now Artie Savia back to Jordie Barrett. Wide cut out pass to the bus. Julian Savia, he isolates himself and he just backed himself. Thought he was a bit too strong. They've got the line out throw, though, for the Hurricanes. So that is a beneficial thing. So how did that become a line out throw for the Hurricanes? It's their ball, is the comment from Nick Berry. So, yeah, it's a line-out throw for the Hurricanes here. Artie Savia taking it to the front. Now off to TJ Perenara. Tyrell Lomax, the 2-try scorer from last week. Now the bus in the midfield. A lot more space for him to run there rather than right next to the touchline. TK Howden marching his way forward now. Round the side, TJ Perenara. He's put the ball down, has he? Artie Savia played on, but I believe it is going to be a knock-on now. And Jordie Barrett is a tower man. He is 6'5". Oh, I think they've just said that it could be a yellow card against Jerome Brown, which could be a massive turning point because there's only 40 seconds left of the Hurricanes yellow. And now Jerome Brown might have just gotten himself put in the bin as well. They'll almost be able to pass over each other as they go. See, this is... Okay, he's actually got his hands on the ball. Okay, he slapped it out of the hand of TJ Perenara. I think that's going to be a yellow card for Jerome Brown, unfortunately. And he's been a physical specimen in this matchup so far, but he won't be able to for the next 10 minutes. The slice of cheese coming out again. It certainly is. It was knocked out of the hands. And also we have got there, how you going, mate? Keep up the YouTube hustle, says Jacob McDonald. Doing very well. I did have a nap for one of the first times in ages for like an afternoon nap, but I'm all good because we did end up staying up all night doing the sevens, the URC, and Super Rugby. Probably not the best thing for the vocal cords, but it's luckily not doing too bad at the moment. They're actually checking lists to see whether or not there is a chance of a penalty try, possibly. Jerome Brown could be in some real trouble here. I think it's guaranteed he's going to the bin. It's just whether or not they are guaranteeing that Perenara would have been able to go over. There is an absolutely huge gap. There is cover defense, though. So I believe that is going to be just a yellow card. So Jerome Brown's going to the bin for the next 10 minutes. Played in an offside position. He's going to get 10 minutes. And now Sangster off the field for the next 39 seconds. Jerome Brown off the field for the next 10 minutes. Advantage goes back the way of the Hurricanes. And as soon as they take this kick, if they want it. Okay, they're looking for the mark. I don't think the Hurricanes are actually looking to put this one over the post, though, to get Justin Sangster back out on the field. I think they want to go for an attacking play and see if they can score themselves a try. In fact, it's a quick tap and go from TJ Perenara. Passes it off to Artie Savia. 3 meters out from the line now for the Hurricanes. James Blackwell pop pass to Peter Umaga Jensen. Close to the line. I think he's gone down. Tell you what, that's looking pretty decent. And they're going to have to check this one. More than likely time off. Once again, we are going to have a check of the TMO. The TMO is going to be busy throughout this game. Peter Umaga Jensen, initially, I thought he was going to be held up, but then he just kind of wiggled his way downwards. And they are just going to be checking this one to see whether or not there is a try. The Hurricanes are pretty confident. The Hurricanes, he's going like this, Peter Umaga Jensen. I think he feels he scored it. So he picks up this. He's got 3 players, Pete Samu, Lena Katau, and Ere Simone all on him, but then he flattens out underneath everyone. All right, this one might help. Where are we? Where's the ball? Oh, there's a ball on the line there, I think. Or it's tricky to tell if it is on the line, but it's definitely on the ground. And Nick Berry is saying he was definitely across when I got there. Or maybe it was over the line. This is coming from Nick Berry. This is going to be a try to the Hurricanes. And it will be the first try of the match. And it will be none other than Peter Umaga Jensen, I believe. Anyway, I believe Nick Berry has said it's worth a try. Right. Hurricanes try scorers. And Nick White can't quite believe the fact that it is a try for this one. But Peter Umaga Jensen scores it. And now they are going to have themselves a bit of a lead. Is it Jensen or Jenson? Sin or Son? Sin. It is with the E rather than the O at the end. So Peter Umaga Jensen scores the try in the 27th minute. And now not only do they have themselves a try, they've got an easy kick out in front and a man advantage for the next 10 minutes or so. Well, that's also try, says Tesla. There as well. And also we've got the up the gains, Peter Umaga Jensen. Says Tesla, yeah, doing very nicely. And it was actually, I thought there was pretty good communication between the referee and the TMO. Because the TMO from one angle, he was like, I don't know whether or not it is actually over the line. Whereas on the other side of things, Nick Berry said, from my angle, saw it over the line. So I just needed confirmation of whether or not that ball was down first before it was held up. So I feel like it was good work between them. You know, sometimes it's a bit tricky getting a TMO and a referee on the same page. It seems to be one of the times that they were. And where the Highlanders are either ahead of the Brumbies, says Hex. It's a good question. I am going to have a look. Because they lost that game 27 points. 28 points to 17. Action, right, what we got. I'm going to scroll through facts only. So, no. No, there were 2 quick tries for Jerome Brown and Lachlan Lonergan. And then from there, they were just chasing the game for a majority of it. So I don't think they ever had a stage where they were actually leading that game. And now Geordie Barrett is way downfield, taken nicely by Noel Alessio. They are playing with 14 men now out on the field for the Brumbies. So Lisi Reasi misses a tackle, but TJ Perenara able to make it. Now Pete Samu has been wrestled down. So Lisi Reasi actually missing 2 tackles in a row there. We have to make sure that he is a bit more clinical with them. If he doesn't want to concede a try on that near side, Hurricanes are already doing better. And I think it's just the fact they survived for the 10 minutes without too many points against them. So now that's going to give them confidence heading into the next little while. Although the Brumbies look like they're going to be playing all right with 14 men out on the field also. Bit of a counter-ruck there from the Hurricanes. Nick White does get that ball. It bounces up for him now. Balin Sullivan makes a big shot on him. He's been on top. He's got numbers on him, and Balin Sullivan just waves to the halfback while he is sitting in there. But Nick White was asking for the penalty. Xavier Numia, he does win the penalty that time. And TJ Perenara, he wants the quick tap. But they aren't going to be able to take it in the end. I believe Geordie Barrett will be kicking this one into touch. But currently now 28 and a half minutes through this first half. And the pace and the tempo of this game just seems to be going just a little bit quicker. And also Hurricanes sees Clayton there. Penalties conceded. We've seen the last 3 penalties go the way of the Hurricanes compared to before that. I believe it was about 4 in a row that went against the Hurricanes. So momentum, the shift might be changing to get the 2 points. And there says Clayton as well. Now it is going to be James O'Reilly with this line-out throw. 6.5 minutes left of that yellow card. Ardie Savia now slings it back to TJ Perenara, Pitu Munga-Jensen, the try scorer. Garden Bishop got to attack and run from Geordie Barrett. Does pop the ball up nicely to Salisi Rayasi. If he finds the pass on the outside, it could be try time. Instead, just continues to run for 5 meters out. Geordie Barrett with a flat run. He's going to be wrestled down by, I believe it was Big Cager and Neville. Now Perenara off to Jackson Garden Bishop. And Sangster, he is back out on the field. Couple meters out. Perenara does try and snipe his way around the side. Doesn't quite work out for him. And it was almost stolen. Yes, a clean turnover for Pete Samu. Brilliantly done by the Brumbies, number 8. And they will be able to hang on for just a little bit longer. Nick White fires it back into the pocket. And Tom Wright will be kicking this one downfield for touch. Good kick. Brilliant kick. Now Pitu Munga-Jensen. They do take it quickly. It's off to Geordie Barrett now. He does try and link up. He's found the pass off to Pitu Munga-Jensen, who now has some more space. Ball on the outside to James O'Reilly. And like I mentioned, the tempo of this game seems like it's all of a sudden hit about 5th gear in the last little while. Nice pop pass from James Blackwell. Linking up with Justin Sangster around the side. Ardie Savia quickly recycled ball for the Hurricanes as they look to put Fazer and Faze together. Jackson Garden Bishop flat ball from TK out, and it's a knock on though. I just said though twice in a row, and also realized stream. I just sent me here. Here's Brandon there, but handling here so far throughout the early stages of the game. 4 for the Hurricanes, only the 2 for the Brumbies, but 5 minutes left of the yellow card, 10 minutes left of this first half between the sides. And Pitu Munga-Jensen with a great attack and run, found the ball out to James O'Reilly, and it's how quick they were able to get this ball back out. Perenara was right there. The nice bot pass linking up between the 2 locks for the Hurricanes. But in the end, it was just a bit of a rough pass from TK out and a little bit too low for Salisi Rayasi to be able to take. Now 31 minutes through this contest. So we've actually only got another 49 minutes of round 11 of Super Rugby. And then after that, I think Lachlan Lonergan's got a bit of a problem with the leg. That will be a little bit of a longer spell. I'm just looking at some of the sponsors. Canberra Milk. Interesting. Canberra Milk. I'm just trying to think of what our equivalent to like Canberra Milk would be, because I know we've got like Fonterra and Anchor and whatnot, but we don't have anyone who's actually called like an area and then Milk. I don't know why I'm like so concentrated on just that. David and also, well, there's nothing like English Sevens versus Argentina, 36 or 36-34, although this game in the end could end up somewhere similar to that. Speaking of sevens, we are going to be doing some women's sevens later on in the night, ladies and gentlemen. I believe the quarterfinals start at 5 a.m., but more than likely, we're either going to be doing quarterfinals or we will be sleeping in just a little bit further to about 9 a.m. and then doing the semifinals of the contest. But now it's going to be a big push. It's a free kick. They went just a bit too early there for the Hurricanes. And now it's a free kick to the Brumbies. They've either got the option of kicking this one way downfield or they go for the scrum. It looks like Tom Banks is going to be just booting this one as far as physically possible. Tom Banks kicks it downfield, and it does end up finding touch. So now it will be the Hurricanes line out from 40 metres out. They start at 5:30 a.m. And this is Brandon. And now James O'Reilly going to be throwing in this ball. It's a wonky one. They tried to take it quickly, and Darcy Swain is able to pounce on the opportunity to turn that ball over. Currently only 1 point between these two sides. And if it stays this way right to the end of the game, it would be the closest game so far we have had for the weekend. That ball was put high from Nick White. Julian Savia, beautiful take from the bus. He's been able to take that one very well inside of his own half. Lomax now back to Geordie Barrett. They still want to make the most of this man advantage. Good attack and run from Blake Gibson. Now Perenara looking off to the left-hand side. Balin Sullivan, good attacking run. Always runs hard at the line. You never see him jogging around the field. He's always sprinting. That man now passing it back across. Jackson Garden Bishop. James Blackwell tries to go for the pop pass, but there was no one on his outside. So it didn't quite work as smoothly as it did with Justin Sangster. The last time, Rob Pallatini, he's done the grubber in behind. It's a foot race between the forwards. And Valentini, I think, has been able to get that one down. He likes it, but it's whether or not he was able to do so. Somehow it ended up in a foot race between him, Xavier Numia, James O'Reilly, and I think it was TK Howden. So all of the forwards all chasing for that ball. Makes you wonder, where was Geordie Barrett in the fullback role? Where was he? There he was. He was in the background there, but he did it. Oh, okay, sorry. Geordie Barrett did make the last tackle, so I feel like he can be kind of let off the hook a little bit, but they probably should have had someone covering back there. In fact, I apologize. It wasn't TK Howden. It was actually Jackson Garden Bishop trying to win the foot race. And he was... Oh, I think Rob Valentini's got that one down. And I believe the Brumbies have been able to get themselves a try back in this game. The Australian commentators are absolutely loving it at the moment. We're going to go like this. And we are going to go like this. So it is Rob Valentini. Okay, they're saying the white player was the only player who had grounding on the top hemisphere of the ball. That's an interesting way of wording it, but pretty much what he means is he's put it down. And it has worked out for them. So now that is going to be... Okay, they are just checking to see whether or not it is Rob Valentini's hand that has got the pressure down on the ball. It certainly is. He got it. Says Tesla, he did indeed. And it is a brilliant try for Rob Valentini. And one of his first of the season, I believe, since about round maybe 3 or something along those lines. And I got 15. It was in my live stream. And also, I've got there, I was so close, literally millimeters, says Tesla there, but it was a loose pass from James Blackwell. Great try by the Brumbies. Says great there, yeah, Rob Valentini just gets some motion going, and he outran Jackson Garden Bishop. Xavier Numia was working hard as well, but they were unable to stop him. Now the Brumbies have got themselves a 14-10 lead. So actually both sides with 14 men did end up getting themselves in a good position to be able to score some points. I got to go to the bathroom and there's a try. There says Hex. Now that one has gone over and the conversion makes the score 16 points to 10, ladies and gentlemen, with still another 6 minutes left in this half. The Brumbies will be feeling quite confident after the fact of scoring with 14, but Jackson Garden Bishop kicks it off long. And the Hurricanes, it may make them think about those passes just a little bit more. And I was going to ask, what is your favorite rugby game from this weekend? 2 from the Rugby Sevens and 1 for the Rugby 15. So for the Rugby Sevens, I would go USA versus Fiji, as it was extremely close. And then for the other Sevens game, I would go New Zealand versus Fiji, as it did end in a draw. And that is about as close as you can get. Then for the Rugby Union side of things, it sounds bad to say, but I'd probably say Waratahs versus Crusaders. Or actually, no, I'm going to take that back. Even though that was an awesome one, I love the game in Fiji. Just seeing the rugby back in Suva was just the newly found. Oh, that's a penalty. Has ripped that ball away in the breakdown, knee to the ground, and he did not release. And also, in your opinion, who do you have as having the best defense in Super Rugby? Right. That's a tricky one because it's actually changed this year than last year. Last year, I actually felt it was the Highlanders, as they had the best tackle completion rate out of any side in the competition. But this year, not so much. So I would say probably I like the structured defense of the Blues that they've currently got. But then saying that, when they give away those penalties, it kind of takes away from it. So someone like, I quite enjoy the Chiefs' defense. All right, normally is pretty solid. That one is a knock on this near side. Or is it? It's play on. Now Blake Gibson going to be passing it back. They're going to be playing advantage in favour of the Hurricanes for this one. And also Geordie could kick the ball out of the stadium if he wanted, says Tesla. He could. He has got some very good leg strength. Now Xavier Numia goes back across. Although he did miss a kick earlier on, Geordie Barrett, which he won't be too happy about, I wouldn't think. Now a lot of pressure from Lachlan Lonergan to get going back for the initial knock on. And that is not going to make them too happy for them. Oh, that's the home crowd that aren't too happy with that one. Question for you, Hamish. What is your favourite year of rugby? And YouTube, my one is the copyright. Favourite year of rugby? I would say probably, to be honest, last year. That's a knock on from Blake Gibson, but no one saw it. And it was straight in front of the referee. So I believe it is now going to make it a scrum feed for the Brumbies. Yeah, so it is going to be a Brumbies scrumpy. What happens if Geordie does actually kick the ball out of the stadium? Do they run out of the stadium to find it? I'm sure they'd have someone out there, like whether it's a fan. But the thing is, those rugby balls that they use are probably like $150 a pop, but they probably don't have to pay for them. So because of that, you might just be like, oh, well, that one's gone, isn't it? We'll just leave that one for someone out in the crowd. Because that's the thing. Some crowd members, I mean, there was one the other day who tried to put the ball under her shirt so that no one could see it. But then, like, everyone saw it on the camera. So then she realized, oh, okay, I'll give it back. But, you know, rugby balls. I actually had a situation at a ground with a rugby ball. Now, Dan Carter tried to kick me the ball and some man stole it. We always got there, go the Canes. Says Oldie there, but currently Nick White going to be feeding this ball in. Still sitting up until it bags a person or bonks a person on the head. Says Hex there. It's a good tackle and a leg drive backwards from Artie Savia. And the post-contact meters actually were in the minuses there for that man, Rob Valentini. Yeah, put the ball up high. In fact, it was Pete Samu that time. Geordie Barrett taking it very nicely. He's hit hard. And the tackle by Cater and Neville. And I think he's holding his jaw at the moment, Geordie Barrett. Might have had it a little bit rattled in that challenge. Now it's bouncing out on the side of the Brumbies. It's a double knock on. And it's going to be the Brumbies who have got themselves a scrumpy. Geordie Barrett is still down, robbed to the legacy Dan Carter ball. Very sad. Or the legendary Dan Carter ball. Very sad. Says Hex there. And also if you drop a penny from the top of the Empire State Building and it hits someone on the head, they would die. Says, is that correct? I remember seeing like a Mythbusters thing about that a while ago. Which I guess is why you're probably not allowed to drop many pennies. There's nothing in that, mate. It's a comment from Nick Berry to just end up getting him right up around the chin for Geordie Barrett. So far, 9 games, 2 tries, 76 points. And the goal ratio is actually a lot lower than he'd like it to be, 28 from 41. And also we have got there, can you do a video in some way and live stream it in some way too? Brandon. I assume in that case, Premiere is probably your best bet. My voice is about to disappear. Done a lot of talking recently. But yeah, pretty much you can have a Premiere, which pretty much plays your video as a live stream type thing. So people can join in halfway through it and watch along. So you could do it. I mean, that's the thing. I never found an example of when it was a good time to use that, though, other than I think I did a full match of one of these sites on Rugby Challenge 4. And I don't think it can create enough momentum as it will be flipping or something. Says Hex. Yeah. What if you drop an ice cream? I'm just thinking of an ice cream. Like, as in the pointy cone part. I feel like that would be very dangerous. Currently, the scrum reset. Currently 39 minutes through this game as well. Both sides going to be excited to get into the second half. It's currently relatively close, only 6 points difference, and neither side really punished drastically for the yellow card. You'd have to argue that maybe both sides without the yellow card, or with the yellow card, in fact, actually played better, which is a weird situation. Now, Nick White about to put this ball into the scrum. 45 metres out from their own line here, the Brumbies. They're going to be feeding that ball in. It's rolling back quite nicely for them, and this will be a halftime score. And now it's going to be a big push from the Hurricanes, so maybe they get themselves an extra 2. I go into bed at 5 a.m. and just woke up last 1 hour. And there says Brandon, but that is now going to be, I believe James O'Reilly looks like he's a little bit rattled at the front, but they have got Kaderu Sims off the bench if they do need him. Right, Geordie Barrett's going to be taking on the shot at the post, so I guess Hex, by saying it's going to be the halftime score, does that mean that Geordie Barrett misses this kick? It's from about 45 out, so it isn't exactly an easy kick for him. He's got the distance, but he might not have the accuracy. Like they're saying, last long range attempt for Geordie Barrett was just away to the side. And won't be hoping that this one repeats itself. And the ice cream cone, I wouldn't do much, probably breaks on impact. There's CCX. That is very true. Although some of those ones, if it's frozen, that's going to be a tough one. You know, like a trumpet. Yeah, like a trumpet. They're quite sharp. Fun fact. Now, Geordie Barrett from about 46 out. It looks like he's taking it back a metre or two, maybe even 47. But plenty of distance on that boot of Jordie Barrett, and the best time for him as a kicker is when he's striking the ball without thinking about it, which sounds so weird to say, but when he tries to overhit it, that's when he shanks it away to the left. He gets that one over, and that one is now going to make the score 13 points to 16 going into halftime, ladies and gentlemen. And he got it, and my voice is very bad so much. And there's Brandon, so you're going to have your limp sip at this stage. And also, you got to want to kick there. So, yeah, very nice strike of the ball from Jordie Barrett, and managed to just get it inside of the upright. And wait, what? That one, it was curling. It almost missed, but it did end up going over just in the end. So because of it, it does make the score 13 points for the Hurricanes and 16 for the Brumbies. But anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also, if you haven't already, be sure to check out the Kiwi Lads Sport channel. We are on the road to 850 subscribers over there, and we are currently sitting only 7 away. So if you do want to help us out to reach our goal on there, be sure to do so. And this game is going to go down to the wire for sure. Says Hex there. And also first half close 16 to 13. And then second half will be Brumbies scoring 25 plus unanswered points. There's Craig. I'm liking the optimism. And you have been committed to the Brumbies the whole way through, so I can respect that. And tea, lemon, and honey. Says Robert Wallace there. Yeah, good old combo. I've had to go down that route a few times recently just because my voice does not sound great at times. Although just the lemon and honey, I actually have never had a tea, believe it or not. Also, what's the highlight so far, says Ed Vogel. I would say, it's got to be Rob Valentini's grubber try, doesn't it? He was absolutely brilliant with the way that he chased that one. And he was able to outpace Xavier Numia. That would be expected. Xavier Numia is a prop. But he outpaced Jackson Garden-Bishop as well, who actually also got outpaced by Xavier Numia. And also, Hurricanes scored 25 unanswered points. Says Hex there, and can I become because I want to get people in timeout. There's Brandon there as well. So next time we do need some more moderators, we will be looking to you guys who are here on the channel relatively often. Although no one here for it. And there says Brandon. Although at this stage, luckily, I also have the ability of hitting the button. So it is all good if we do have any spam or anything along those lines. But the Brumbies versus Hurricanes, for my preview, I actually said that they would go for, I think it was 9 or 8 points in favour of the Brumbies. And Jackson is so bloody slow. And there says Betty Ears, although he did have a decent run earlier on in the game. But I think a lot of people will see that try as the one that was, I guess you could say, the one that they look at. And Jackson is very slow, though, yeah. He doesn't quite have the pace that he would like, unfortunately, for him. His brother, Connor Garden-Bishop, I think he got all of the pace gene. And Jackson Garden-Bishop got the other one. We always got there. Even Hamish went, I wouldn't win. I would have done a hammy about 50 metres back. And that was before he even kicked the ball. And also, actually, there won't be any unanswered points. Very close game. 2 yellow cards. We'll see a red one for the second half, says Ed. And that's the thing. Red cards have become such a prominent figure in Super Rugby. And you could argue, is it because it's only a 20-minute red card that players are taking risks more and more? Because it's like, oh, well, if I get sent off, it's just double a yellow, isn't it? And then we bring a man back out there. So I'm wondering whether or not, because it's not a full 80 minutes that you're off for, players are being a bit more reckless, not really taking it too, I guess you could say, too seriously. I'm going to slide back in my chair. Speaking of not taking things too seriously, we are currently sitting at halftime, but it is a dramatic change of speed from Barrett to Jackson. There's Hex, it certainly is. Jackson Garden-Bishop doesn't quite have that acceleration of a Barrett. But at this stage, James O'Reilly, they're saying that the line-out might be something that has been struggling a little bit. And also, we've got the question for you, Hamish. Did you see my green screen on the Discord? I have not yet. I haven't actually been on Discord in the last little while. I think it loads up automatically on my PC every time I start it. But I haven't actually opened it in recent time. And they should not replace anyone who gets a red card. Says Craig. And I think that's the thing, 20 minutes isn't long enough, I don't think, because the reason they brought in 20-minute red cards was so that if there was an accident or a mistake from the refereeing department, then the player wasn't completely punished. But I feel like 40-minute red card would actually be a better way of doing it. Like 80 minutes sometimes does seem quite strict depending on what the card was for and what time it did take place. But I think 20 minutes is too light. Definitely because a lot of the time it's like a shoulder to the head or something like that. Like you could shoulder someone to the head, get a red card, Then 20 minutes later, you get to bring on another guy who could shoulder someone to the head, get a red card. Then you can bring on another person who could get a red card as well. So you can actually get 3 red cards throughout a match if you're strategic with it. But by then, I'd like to think you would have possibly sorted out the discipline side of things if you have already got yourself a couple reds in the past. But currently, a yellow card for Jerome Brown, a try for Rob Valentini, though, for the Brumbies. And then for the Hurricanes, it was Peter Umangen Jensen who was able to score the try. And Justin Sangster was the man who did get himself the yellow card. So currently only 40 minutes left of this matchup between the two sides. And then we have got the sevens a little bit later on tonight. I will read you guys out the quarterfinals of the women's sevens. We are still trying to decide whether or not we're up at 5 a.m. or whether we're going to stay in bed a little bit longer and then wake up at 9 a.m. for the semi-finals that are coming up. But the women's sevens, the first one is taking place in 12 hours, 3 minutes time. And that will be the matchup taking place between France and Fiji, followed by New Zealand versus Canada, Ireland versus USA, and then Australia versus Spain. The semi-finals will be taking place at 8:50 a.m. and 9:12 a.m. And also, regular Craig, what do you think the score is going to be? Says the X there as well. And then the final, I should mention, is going to be taking place at 11:28 for the third and fourth place playoff, and then the final at 11:58. And we will be covering both of those games on the channel as well. So if you are new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It is hugely appreciated. You guys will be in here for these live streams, and we are just waiting for the second half get back underway. But also be sure to check out the Kiwi Lad Sport if you do want to, because we are currently closer and closer to hitting our goal of 850 by the end of the weekend. We will get some stats up for this matchup, though. And I believe the running meters would be relatively even between these two sides, maybe with half an edge in favor of, I'm going to say a half an edge for the Hurricanes for running meters. Just because we have seen, I would say, probably more of the kicking game from the Brumbies currently. Right, where are our match stats? 242 running meters for the Hurricanes compared to the 188 of the Brumbies. Then defenders being in 10 for the Brumbies, 8 for the Hurricanes. Offloads are pretty even as we currently sit. And also the tackles made. They've actually made 93 tackles, the Brumbies, but only missed the 8. Also, yeah, Brumbies by 7, right? And there it says here, I believe that is myself. And yeah, I think I said either 7 or 8 in the preview that I did end up doing. Could you be Hamish? Do you think my thumbnail got better? You look and 15 question. And there says Brandon. So we'll give it a look if I remember after the live stream. But for now, seeing as we're at halftime, I better do some stats for this match. But 58% in favor of the away side, the Hurricanes, for the possession side of things. So they have been having a lot more of it recently at 6 a.m. now. Says Jack, so I assume you're staying up right throughout the match, so it is hugely appreciated. And yeah, I hope you are excited for the sevens that is coming up very soon. In about 12 hours' time is the next one. So it is going to be about 5 a.m. New Zealand time for that one. So I guess at least that time it will be decent for yourself. It will be somewhere around food time, I would think, more than likely, which won't be too bad at all. But meters carried so far, Tom Banks having the most. 42 meters carried for the Brumbies. Leonard Cattell, 31 and 33 for Pete Samu. Then for Julian Xavier, 41 meters carried. 33 for Salisi Reasi. And I believe everyone from Justin Sangster up for the Hurricanes have had double running meters. In terms of double figures for the meters, that is. And thoughts on the Fijian crowd going wild for the draw. It was absolutely awesome to see, and I hope they can have a lot more games in Fiji and also in Tonga and Samoa for Moana Pacifica in the future. I remember Fiji were a level above everyone. No one could stop them, says Jack. And also we have got there, the Canes have got this, I feel, says Daniel. And also, what do the Hurricanes need to do to win against the Brumbies, says William? I think, first of all, that discipline side of things. I know I've said it many times, but they've already had a yellow card. They can't afford another one here, or else then that will be the chance that the Brumbies need. And also, just not to rush that back line. They've got a very good one when they do just patiently build it up. Perenara Barrett as your first receiver when he slots in. And then you got Balin Sullivan or Salisi Reasi, Julian Savia on the outside. And one of his Fiji will be wild. Says X, it certainly will be. And the crowd will be going absolutely crazy for that game. But Rob Valentini, not only did he score a try in that first half for the Brumbies, he also was able to make 13 tackles. Rasamoni, 10 tackles, 1 turnover, 1. And then 9 tackles made by Kadrian Neville. Out of all the Hurricanes players, it is actually TK Howden has made the most tackles. He has made 7. So Lisi Reasi He has made 6 at this point in time. So still a relatively even contest. As you can see, 16 points to the Brumbies, 3 to the Hurricanes. Just a 1 try scorer for both of these sides. And now we just wait for the second half to get back underway. But every game so far this round has been decided by 4 or less points, which is just insane. The fact that we've had 5 games, the first of which it was the Reds versus the Chiefs. They were able to win that one. The Chiefs 27 points to 25. The Blues victorious over the Western Force 22 points to 18. The Highlanders winning their game up against the Fijian Drua 27 points to 24. Waratahs having a massive win over the Crusaders 24 points to 21. And then the Rebels victorious over Moana Pacifica last night 26 points to 22. So not too badly done by any side, really. Everyone's getting a point so far. In fact, that's actually the stat. Every single side so far this round has got at least 1 point. I think he says William. And then if GameStop knocking the ball on, they will win. Says Tessa. Yeah, a couple handling errors scattered throughout there as well for them. I think straight away, they know that the disciplinary side of things, like if they do anything, they're going to catch them for it. Currently, it looks like they are having a few younger players run around out on the ground. Is there another game on tonight after this, says Daniel? There is not. This is actually the last game of Super Rugby round 11. But next week, I believe it is going to be 2 games on the Friday night, 3 games on the Saturday, and 1 on the Sunday. And we will be covering all of them on the Kiwi Lads channel and also doing our previews over on the Kiwi Lads Sport, as we have been doing all of the matchups. And this game, I did predict that the Brumbies would win it by 8 points, I believe it was, if I'm not wrong, but that is the link to the channel there in the chat. But now they are showing the Waratahs game up against the Crusaders, and it was a monumental victory for the Waratahs. You can see how much it meant to them as well. After the live stream, can you watch live stream for New Zealand? Then you see my green screen. So here's that Brandon there as well. So you might have to remind me right at the end of the live stream, because or else then I will probably forget, just because there is still 40 minutes of probably quite close rugby between these two sides. So my brain will just go straight back to the rugby by the end. And there's been 1 game won by 2 points, 2 games won by 3 points, and 2 games won by 4 points. And all that's left is a 1-point win. And bring Aidan Morgan on, please. So I assume you're replacing Jackson Garden Bishop at this stage for that second half. They're going to have to make sure that they do it strategically. Looking through at the bench, I believe there's been a little bit of a late change. I think it was Pasaleo Tosi is out there or as one of the options of the bench rather than Xavier Numia, who did start this match. But Kiriru Symes, Zaya Walker-Leawere, Caleb Delaney, Jamie Booth, Aidan Morgan, and Billy Proctor is another option for the Hurricanes in the later stages. Then for the Brumbies, they've got Ollie Satz, who plays very well for Hawke's Bay, and the Bunnings NBC recently got himself a hat-trick in that competition near the end of the season. Ryan Lonergan as the replacement hooker option, the halfback option. James Slipper is going to be there. Falau Whainga, it's a good bench for the Brumbies. Currently, they had less of the possession in that first half. Penalties conceded 6 apiece for both of these teams, and the Hurricanes having 8 offloads compared to the 3 that we did see from the Brumbies. So they're trying to shift that ball a lot more, but sometimes that can end up costing you the ball just a little bit. So that is going to be the big interesting factor for this matchup as well. And also, did you see they also win it over Edinburgh? I did see that they won it. I think it was 16 points to 10, wasn't it? So it wasn't exactly a huge scoring game, but that game between Cardiff and Ospreys, or Edinburgh and Ospreys, certainly was. That's a lie. Cardiff. No, not Cardiff. Who was it? Scarlets and Ospreys. They had almost 100 points in that game. Because your Hamish mum, what is your favourite game she plays? Here's Brandon. Favourite game that she plays? I would say probably Overcooked, because it's one of the only games I can get her to play. She quite enjoys it. We might have to do a video at some stage. I'm pretty shit at it. She's pretty not good at it, is what she said. And also, we've got that question for you, Hamish. What is your favourite rugby league game on the Kiwi Lads Sports, says Brandon. So I would say probably the State of Origin one, possibly. But currently sitting there, Brumbies 16 points for the Brumbies and 13 for the Hurricanes. And also for Showers, said hello, Hamish, bro. And there as well, but currently now sitting at halftime, 16 points to 13. Brumbies have got themselves a little bit of a lead. And so Lisi Reasi, he will have to have a big second half here if he does want a decent chance. But now it is going to be both sides making their way back out onto the field. A little bit of rubbing going on in the background, but I should mention it is anti-flam, I believe. Yeah. Currently now 3 points difference between the two sides. And not a lot of a gap between them. A yellow card for both sides in that first half. And they will now be looking to try and build a couple more possible try opportunities. I'm making myself a coffee in there. And Kane's second half team, and Hamish only tells if that gets 7 points, if they get a half century. And there it says it was Mark Roberts. But yeah, it was pretty much like that game between Cardiff and not Cardiff. I keep on saying Cardiff, but Cardiff, can't even remember who Cardiff played. But yeah, Ospreys versus Scarlets. If you have that game available and you like seeing tries scored, that's the game to watch. Now taken nicely by Jerome Brown now. Or Pete Samuel, in fact it was, but now currently just waiting for this one just outside of the 22 currently. And they are going to be pushing this one forward very tightly. First half finish, both teams are looking to win this crucial game. And hi, Hamish Mum and Hamish Dad. There's Brandon. Barrett's taking that one very nicely. And now Perenata going to be rolling it back. Now Blake Gibson still hanging on to this one, currently sitting 40 metres out from the line. It looks like one of the Brumbies players has stayed down. I think it was Sefu Kautai. But now it's going to be offloaded back. Balin Sullivan now still continuing to drive his way forward. Hurricane still hanging on to this ball. Justin Sangster with a good carry now. And they continue to build phase after phase. DJ Perenata back to Jackson Garden Bishop. Geordie Barrett now off to Blake Gibson. And they are still trying their very best to be able to keep on driving forward. Tyrell Lomax, Jackson Garden Bishop off to Justin Sangster. And now Perenata goes back across to Jackson Garden Bishop and also tried to get a try. And there says it was Brandon. Very tightly first half finished. Both teams are looking to win this crucial game, and that is going to be a penalty now in favour of the Hurricanes. And they will have themselves another big opportunity to try and either go for 3 or go for the corner. I would like to see them up the aggression in the second half and go for the corner. Jackson Garden Bishop there. Not quite. It was just a little bit off to the side. You gotta extend the arm a little bit more. There we go. One more, little bit. Anti-flam for when your joints are. We can't probably can't do.
When you roll your ankle and playing golf.
When you roll your ankle playing golf, get yourself some anti-flam, ladies and gentlemen. Currently 42 minutes into this game, and I was probably pleased your dad introduce all subscribers to this channel just one time. He has actually been on the channel before, Salesi RC going up the middle, and it's a try for the Hurricanes, and he is hyped up for this one. I mentioned right at halftime, this is when he needs to really shine, and he has been able to get himself the try there. Salesi Rayasi. Now 42 minutes through, Rayasi scores, and the Hurricanes are going to take themselves the lead. 42 minutes in as well. There's still plenty of time left for both of these teams, and you have to take the corner. Says Mark there, and I'm liking the fact that they didn't go for the 3 there. Instead, they decided they wanted to play aggressive, and it was rewarded with some extra points on the board as well. So Salesi Rayasi straight through. Good run in line. Does end up scoring the try. It looks like, yeah, he just went straight through the gap. Unable to catch him. And also, we look at the yes, says William, and also on the QLAD Sports on Cricket 19. And it's that says Brandon. So, yeah, we have done a couple cricket ones in the past. And, yeah, on that actually first initial video on the channel with us doing some IPL, you can actually hear my dad talking in that one. Believe it or not. Now, Salesi Rayasi scoring that try. He scored a few throughout the season, including a hat-trick a little bit earlier on in the year. Peter Umaga Jensen, he was right on his back, and he was happy for it. And then I was like, yes, says William. And also we have got there, or do a flying roly-poly. And there says Mark, I am about to sneeze. There we go. That was lucky. The headphones almost slipped off my head, which would have been very unfortunate, as they would have probably smacked on the table. But now going to be Sangster's got this ball inside of the 22 currently for the Hurricanes. Nick Berry has said, no, you're not allowed to do that. To Darcy Swain now. Jackson Garden Bishop kicks it downfield. It's a good clearing kick. His clearances are very good. Jackson Garden Bishop. That one has once again found the touch on it. Also, we have got me too, says Braden. Now Lachlan Lonergan about to throw this ball in for the Brumbies. They need something soon, the Brumbies, to get themselves back into this contest. They're 4 points behind. But if the Hurricanes are the next team to score, it will be pretty tough to be able to catch up. But if Valentini does get himself over the line once again, it would be very impressive. I think he is possibly, has he hurt himself there, Valentini? No, he's all right. He just got crushed under the ruck. Now going short side, Nick White trying to snipe after Nola Alessio down the wing to Pete Samu. Does find that offload back, and it's back to Tom Banks. Tries to pierce his way through, but it's a good low tackle on him by Jackson Garden Bishop, I believe it was. Now Nick White's got this one 25 metres out from the line. It's going to be Scott Seo. Still waiting for this ball to be recycled quickly. 6 phases in. Nola Alessio. Off to it is now Rob Valentini straightens with his run, but he's tackled by Blake Gibson, and also McGilfriend is making dinner. And there says Browns, it sounds like you are a lucky boy. And David now, Nick White's going to be firing it back across Lachlan Lonergan. Good run forward. Xavier Numi and TK out and having to make the tackle on there. But now it seems like the Brumbies are starting to get themselves some very nice momentum. Starting to get back-to-back phases. This is actually 10 phases in a row. Tom Banks with the inside ball. And he wasn't quite able to go through. Simone's dropped it. But it's going back for the initial penalty. And it was offside. And also, this is really just fun. And there says Mark. And currently, it seems like both sides have just decided second half, we might as well just go out there and throw everything at it. See how it goes. We'll either win or we'll lose. And this is what I'm liking seeing from the Brumbies as well. They've gone, if the Hurricanes are going for 7s, we're going for 7s as well. And I feel like that tactic is going to see a lot of tries being scored. And it looks like this. So it looks like it is chicken tacos and salad by the looks of that one for Brandon. But currently now, the Brumbies 5 metres out from the line. And it will be Lachlan Lonergan who has got this line out throw right. This one needs to be straight. Anything but straight, probably get him slapped by the captain. Who is the captain of? I think it's Nick White is the captain of the Brumbies, isn't he? Now it's going to be thrown in. It's taken nicely by the Brumbies. And now the rolling maul does begin. It's at the back for Lachlan Lonergan marching forward slowly but steadily for the Brumbies. It's a couple extra metres that they're making now. They've got to be careful with Hurricanes not to pull this one down. It's close for Lachlan Lonergan. He's got it down. And the Brumbies score again. And amateur pre-match show stream. Both teams last 3 of 2 games won and just 1 lost. So both teams equally same right now. And also... match also a seesaw battle. It is indeed. Early both sides going back and forth. Lachlan Lonergan, though, he has been able to get himself the try off the back of the scrum, or the line out, in fact. So now we will add his name on there, Lonergan. I will have to put the L at the start of his name as well for Lachlan because of the fact that he has actually got his brother Ryan Lonergan, who will be playing in this match a little bit later on when he does get the opportunity. But now the Brumbies, they take the lead back in this contest. And it is now sitting 21 points to 20. It was always going to be tough to stop for the Hurricanes when the Brumbies get that front foot going forward. And you got Valentini, Pete Samu, Jerome Brown, all those big men in there. You're never going to be able to stop that from there unless you do it illegally, which normally leads to a yellow card. Lachlan Lonergan in his 4th try of 2022 try time. Says Greg as well. Only 7th in his career. Now, Noah Alessio sitting 4 from 4 tonight for the goal kicking, so doing pretty well, which is why he's probably going to miss this now that I've said that, because I love jinxing people. Was 4 from 4, and now he misses. Now he's 4 from 5. Sorry about that. Noah Alessio, unfortunately, commentator's curse got him there, but 48 minutes through this game currently, and it has 21 points to 20, so it could be the 1-point contest that we were after, and also we got their boys more tries. See Craig there. So they are going to need another 3 tries for both of these sides to get themselves a bonus point. So it doesn't seem like a bonus point win is going to be on the cards for either side, but it could still be a relatively comfortable one depending on how it goes. Trying to get for Hamish, get it wrong, or trying to get for Hamish, get it wrong. So there's a Brandon there, but currently now the Hurricanes, I think they've almost been able to steal this ball back. In fact, it was extremely close, but now Nick White has just got his hands on the ball enough to be able to roll it back. Nick White has been told to use it. Does put up that box kick, and it is going to be a 50-50 challenge in the air. In fact, no Geordie Barrett. It's gone just a little bit too far for Nick White. And because of that, Geordie Barrett with a good break and run has broken through a couple tackles, finds a pop pass up to TJ Perenata from his back. Now Gibson off to Garden Bishop. Bounce pass to TK out, a nice little overlap. And a wrap around from Salisi Rayasi, who's now opening up their back line once again here for the Hurricanes. He wasn't able to find that offload, though, and he does end up going down about 40 metres out from the Brumbies line. Perenara back across to Gibson, Garden, Bishop now. Geordie Barrett always skew with that one, but I think he meant to, but not quite like that because it's gone out on the full. So not quite the way that Geordie Barrett wanted to kick that. And whenever I start watching the game Brumbies score, whenever I'm doing something else, the Hurricanes score. So I guess you have to be very strategic in what you do from now on in this game. You've got 30 minutes left. You're going to go do something else, or you're going to watch, see the Brumbies score or the Hurricanes. Who do you want to win, Hex? Do let me know. I know you mentioned about the Brumbies winning by 9-11 earlier on. Are they the side that you want to win, or is that just your prediction of what the score will end up being? Currently 50 metres out. Rob Valentini is dragged down. Now Nick White fires it back to Noel Alessio. It's gone up. And what goes up must come down. Geordie Barrett has not been able to take that one cleanly, though, and it is going back for the initial scrum feed. I think my voice is getting better. And there's Brandon. And now Nick Berry. He's got an itchy nose, unfortunately, for him. Maybe also suffers from hay fever. Geordie Barrett tried to take that one above his head. Unfortunately, just got it well and truly wrong. Did end up putting that one down. Like to say, almost like an AFL one. Geordie Barrett, next try in 5 minutes. So here's Brandon there as well. So you're saying 55th minute or so, we will get to see a try in this contest. But currently only the 1 point difference. 2 tries for the Hurricanes, 2 tries for the Brumbies. Lachlan Lonergan and Rob Valentini. So 2 forwards for the Brumbies, whereas the Hurricanes, they've had two forwards score their tries. But Lachlan Lonergan now off the field, and that is going to be for Falau Fainga'a, who has now made his way out there. The Hurricanes better, or because being New Zealander, and I don't like to lose, says Hex there as well. But James Slipper, he is coming on the field. Scott Co will be replaced by him. Okay, I have no idea what they just said, but they said it's the first time in 25 years that something has happened. But I'm not sure what that something was. Now going to be passed in to the scrum, or fed into the scrum by Nick White. Short flat ball, Simone goes through, gives it off to Tom Wright, last ditch effort. Jerome Brown goes in though, and it's going to be another try for the Brumbies, and it was a beautiful set play, and it does lead to the try for the home side at GIO Stadium. And who scores? Says Hex there, it was the Brumbies. And also we got the Brumbies will score again shortly. And wait, how did the Brumbies have 26? They did just manage to get themselves over the line. I think the scoreboard has been very efficient today, that it's almost been slightly too quick. But Jerome Brown did end up picking up that try. And it was a great run from Ere Simone off to Tom Wright, who then found the pop pass up. And Geordie Barrett ends up missing that last tackle. Although with Jerome Brown 2 minutes out from the line, you're never really going to be able to stop him. Oh, that's why, says Hex. And also we have got there, what you are making do match, can you say it again? And there says Brandon. That's a good question. I feel like I might need that one reworded just a little bit for that one. But currently was another try, and the conversion is good. Now 28 points to 20. I try to I say it. And there says Brandon as well. But Jerome Brown, Rob Valentini, Lachlan Lonergan, all big forwards for the Brumbies, who have been able to go in for the tries. Whereas for the Hurricanes, like I mentioned, it's Peter Umaga Jensen. And also we have got these sound lovely. We say Brumbies are in again, says Craig there. It's going to be kicked down the field, but currently a little bit of a difference in the scoreline between these two sides. 8 points as Iwakaliawere, he's gone out on the field. Billy Proctor also making his way out there. Come on, Brumbies, says Craig. James O'Reilly throws that one in. It's a good throw. Now Perenara on the halfway line goes off to Billy Proctor, who has just made his way out there. Jackson Garner Basham off, and it's another handling error from Balin Sullivan. Unfortunately for the Hurricanes, if you're not holding on to the ball, you're not keeping that one in hand. There's a random fly that's decided to come over and say hi. But this one maybe also wants to watch a little bit of the rugby. But Nick White now passes it back to Ere Simone. There's a lot of guys in front of the kicker there that they should probably look at. But they have decided that it's going to be play on just for now. They've said that they're on side. Now Nick White kicks it in behind. Looking for the territory game. It's going to roll close to the end goal area. And Salisi Reyasi does have to kick it back downfield. And which he does so now, it's going to be the pressure back on for the Brumbies. For the Hurricanes defense. Dom right up to the 22. He has dropped that ball now. And it is going to be back in the hands of Billy Proctor. This game is becoming just a seesaw battle between the sides now inside of their own 22. James Blackwell, big run forward. He has got Isaiah Wakaliawere joining that breakdown. That was for Caleb Sangster, who was taken off just before. What a weird kick. Says Tesla, it was very strange. And also, Amish, what is 300 or $3,456 plus $23? Then you're looking at $3,479, which means you've probably got enough to be able to buy something relatively nice for Mother's Day or for Christmas or for Halloween. You know, just end up buying something for a holiday of some sort. Maybe you book a holiday, go to Fiji or Tonga. I wouldn't mind going either of those places, to be fair, but now it's going to be kicked in behind. That's going to be a big kick forward. And now just a beautiful kick. It almost went backwards. And as I said, down, Brumbies in a hurry up to make a faster try score. Should be Hurricanes change a strategy and some changes to substitution. And there says Michelle. It's kicked downfield from Noel Alessio. It could have gone slightly wrong for him, but luckily did pull up just in time. And how many Hurricanes players will be wearing the black jersey this year? Says Craig. I would say, okay. Right, I'm going to have to think through. So Geordie Barrett, yes. TJ Perenara, yes. Artie Savia, yes. Tyrell Lomax, I think they will go with because he is the informed number 3 as well. Oh, goal line dropout. It's gone out on the full. So does that mean 5-meter scrum now? I think that means a 5-meter scrum. I think that's a 5-meter scrum. Okay, so Tom Ross is going to be coming on the field. TJ Perenara is off the field now as well. And Tom Hooper. So 2 Toms making their way out there for Cepho and also Cadron. So now there are 4 Toms on the field for the Brumbies. I'm going to call them Tom 1, Tom 2, Tom 2, Tom 3, Tom 4. They are going to be the Toms. At the moment now, they're having a bit of a team meeting here for the Brumbies, but if they're only 5 meters out from the line, this is going to be an awesome opportunity for them. Okay. So they're saying it's from where it's kicked, and it's going to be a line out. Well, this one's a 5-meter line out now for the Brumbies. Very good attacking position. 8 points difference, and also none of them in their CCX as well. Right. Goes to the back, taken nicely by Darcy Swain. This rolling ball's going to be tough to stop once again here. But it looks like they've done all right. No, Blake Gibson's just getting trampled underneath the breakdown. Now it's gone down sideways. Bouncing off the back for Laufang. Just short of line. Nick White's been able to rip it away. Now backline Tom Banks goes in. Tom number 1 has been able to get himself the try. And Tom Banks scores. The Brumbies have got another. And that is now going to be a very nice try near the end of this game. Well, there's still actually 20 minutes left, though, which is the big thing. Well done, but it's a brilliant try for the Brumbies. And now the score is going to be actually 33 points to 20. The first back for them. And also, what is the handling of the games lately? Yeah, it's been very tricky. And also, why do they get the off? Or why do they get TJ off? I think they decided that Jamie Booth, they wanted to give him a few minutes, but it's possibly a big call. And that's the game. CSX there. Nick White goes off to Ire Simoni. In fact, it was Lena Katau. And then Tom Banks scores it for the Brumbies. And they have gone in for yet again another try. We'll go like this, and we will go like this. And Tom Banks at the bank, says Ed Vogel, exactly right. Back from his injury. He's been away for a long time, Tom Banks. He is loving the fact that he is back in the side alongside his fellow brethren of Tom. Tom Wright, Tom Ross, Tom Hooper, and Tom Banks has been able to score it. Also, we got their 3 unanswered tries. And there says Greg, it also looks like only game not down to the wire. No way Hurricanes will crack the Brumbies at least 3 times in there. That sounds like a very committed man in the crowd. By the sounds of it. Wait, is it 3 unanswered tries or 2 unanswered tries at the moment? When did Lonergan score? No, it is 3. Fair play. And also, they're not over yet. A game for New Zealand. And there says Brandon, but it was Lonergan, Brown, and Banks all scoring tries. And now 58 minutes through, that is going over from Noel Alessio. And that is going to make the score 35 points to 20, not over yet. And come on, Brumbies, keep the momentum. Says Ed Vogel there. Currently now the Brumbies in front of GIO Stadium. They are playing pretty well at this current point in time. In fact, they're playing extremely well. Anytime the Hurricanes make a handling error or a mistake of some sort, the Brumbies have been right there to capitalise. And I feel like that is a sign of a side who are in form when you can make the most of the mistakes of your opposition. Aidan Morgan now out on the field. That is for Jackson Garden Bishop. Unfortunately for him, the last play of the day for him was a mistake. And now that's Tom number 2, Tom Wright. He did have that ball in hand. He's straight down on his face at the moment. Doesn't look like it's the hugely most comfortable place to be. And also, Kiwi lads used to play Fortnite one day. Says Ollie Wilson. I did way back in the day. Used to play it like right when it came out. But I haven't really played it ever since. And I was like, will the score reach 50? Says Ed. I think the Brumbies, the way that they're going at the moment, if there are a few more handling errors for the Hurricanes, I think they have got the potential of getting 1 or 2 more tries at least. Now, Aidan Morgan going back across is going to be a good run from Blake Gibson. Moving up to the halfway line. Jamie Booth looking off to the right-hand side. Julian Savia, good bit of go forward. Aidan Morgan hard in the tackle by Len Ikatel, though. They have been able to make the tackle on him. Ryan Lonergan, he is now on the field. And Nick White has been taken off, and Hurricanes need to get 3 tries. Let's go. And there, that looked like it was close to a handling error as well for the Hurricanes, but luckily they've been able to hang on to it just a little bit longer now. Nice pass off. It's going to be the big man, Tossi, unable to link up, though. If he was able to find that pop pass a little bit earlier, it could be a different story. Now, Artie Savia plays halfback, goes off to Isaiah Walker-Leoere. A half by his opposite number, Tom Hooper, has also come off the bench. In recent times, Savia, now pop pass from Aidan Morgan. Backline movement looking very good here. TK Alden, ball on the inside. Julian Savia trying to run straight over the top of Tom Wright, but he's done extremely well to be able to drag him down. Salisi Rayasi has given himself no space, but somehow they are still in the field of play here for the Hurricanes. That should be a penalty to the Brumbies. I would think, yes, it is. Nicely done by Tom Banks. I was like, I never played Fortnite. And there it says it was Ed, and also we have got there, don't play Kiwi lads. It is very hard for new players. There's Brandon there as well. Darcy Swain's getting his legs stretched out. My men will score 50 plus tonight. Says Craig there, but not releasing ball against Aidan Morgan. It was very close to the touchline, though. Didn't really have a huge amount of space to get too much going. And also, Kiwi lads, what is the weather like? Currently 15 degrees Celsius, light bit of rain, partially cloudy. And hopefully it will be a relatively nice day tomorrow. And can the Hurricanes come back, brother? 20 minutes. They need to make sure that they are definitely the next team to score. If they do want half a chance. If they don't score next, I would say no. If they score next, there's still half a chance to come on the Hurricanes. There's Brandon there as well. Another big yawn. Palau fire now. I don't throw this ball in. And also, what's the weather like? And Invercargill. I have no idea what it's like in Invercargill at this stage. I'd assume slightly the same. Maybe, and also make me mad. There's a Brandon there. Currently, they are going to have to use it here. Ryan Lonergan puts up the kick. Hurricanes need to score before the 65th minute. There's C6. They certainly do. Rayasi, another handling error. Geordie Barrett knocks the ball on. And the Hurricanes just can't hold the ball at this point in time. And it seems to be, even when they're not under a huge amount of pressure, it still is getting dropped. And also, no, Gillon says Brandon there. But anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. They've just shown the handling error stat. 8 handling errors for the Hurricanes. That is way too many to be able to win a game of rugby. That is the link for anyone who does want to check out the Kiwi Lads Sport channel, where we did our preview over there. And also, when a fortnight coming to talks, I think it was from Ollie earlier on, saying that I should play it. But currently for the Brumbies, their next game is going to be up against the Chiefs away from home. They've got the Crusaders at home, GIO Stadium. Then also at home up against the Blues. And then Moana Pacifica on the road on May 28th. So a packed May of Super Rugby. It's going to be an exciting one to see exactly how it does end up going for all of these sides. And we are getting closer and closer to the semi and quarterfinals of the Super Rugby Pacific competition. That wasn't a yawn. And also, not done the Hurricanes from the entire competition. CSX there. That's a good push, though, at scrum time, but they have said it's gone straight across. Great scrum, boys, is the comment from one of the Hurricanes front row. And also, we have got the one moment. We'll go like this, and we'll go like this. There we go. The Fiji and Roa, they are the next opposition for the Hurricanes. Then after that, they have got the Waratahs, the Rebels, and then the Western Force as their last game of the round. So that is going to be round 15 that we do get to see that take place. And then after that, we're into the quarterfinals. And also around that time, we are going to be into the URC playoff games, Champions Cup playoff games as well, I think are taking place. But currently, the Brumbies, they are actually sitting only 1 try away from a bonus point. And if they do get themselves a bonus point, they do need to win it by quite a few points to be able to get that points differential up. But if they can, it would be absolutely huge for them. It's going to be a free kick to the Hurricanes. You know it's their ball. Put it down. It's a comment from Nick Berry. And also we got there. Brumbies make me mad. They always be destroying my New Zealand teams. Says Hex there. And now that I think about it, the last time that these two sides played, it was the Brumbies who were victorious, wasn't it? So now they are looking to do the same thing up against them here. They are going for the scrum feed once again now for the Hurricanes, but only 16 minutes left in this contest. Not a huge amount of time left for the Hurricanes to try and get something going. They're going to need 2 converted tries and something to be able to get themselves the win here, which is not going to be easy, I wouldn't think, but currently they have got a scrum feed about 42 metres out from their own line. A good opportunity to be able to do something here. We'll have to wait and see whether or not it does lead to anything with Jamie Booth. You know, long layoff for the Bunnings NPC. Actually missed a lot of the season due to an injury. Didn't get to play for Manawatu very often at all, but now he is back for the Hurricanes. Ball off the back. Artie Savia passes it now to Salisi Reasi. Jamie Booth, ball on the outside to Aidan Morgan. They've got the numbers if they need them. Julian Savia down the wing, backing himself, trying to bump off. He's once again just run out of space, though. He seems to be flirting with the touchline just a little bit too often in this matchup. I think he's saying there was a shoulder charge for Julian Savia. There might actually be a penalty against Andy Muirhead. Okay. I think he's asking for them to check the shoulder charge from Tom Banks. There's no arm wrap. Are they going to have a look at it, though? I don't think so. Okay, now they are checking it. Nick Berry has said that he better check it. And Caleb Delaney now making his way out onto the field. That is replacing TK Howden. And also did Savia even have a support? Or have support to pass to? Not really. He just got well and truly isolated. Right, Tom Banks has turned. Wait, what? It's fine, no worries. There's no wrap. So they've said it. Okay. Fair enough. Interesting. I think even the Australian commentators are stunned by that one, as they thought it was going to be probably a penalty for that. That's the thing. If that connected with the head of Julian Savia, that's a red card. But because it connects with his shoulder, it's fine. And also, Brumbies is Super Rugby 2022 and Wallabies to win the Bledisloe Cup this year, says Craig. Loving the optimism at this stage. And I would love to see it close for the Bledisloe. I feel like it just really will help the development of the Australian rugby kind of things. Now waiting for this one, 15 minutes out. 15 minutes left now. Now Reasi looking for the pass on the outside. Jamie Booth goes back across to James Blackwell. He's had to have a lot of carries throughout this game. Try and keep it alive. Whereas it was actually Sangster who had a lot of the carries early on. Greg, are you Australian by any chance? Says X there. That would possibly be a good guess. Now, Billy Proctor going through, ball on the outside to Salisi Reasi. Pop pass up to Proctor, and it's going to be the try for the Hurricanes. And they have got themselves one try back. And Salisi Reasi assists in Billy Proctor's try. They are going to need a few more if they do want a good chance of being able to win this game. But Billy Proctor does end up scoring that one. We will add him in the try scorers list. That is in the 65th minute, still 15 minutes left. It's a nice try. Him and also Salisi Reasi linked up beautifully there. Yes, says William. And the big thing there was Billy Proctor. He actually dropped to his knee initially, but managed to get back up to his feet quick enough to then be in support after getting ankle tap, which was very impressive as he sprung back up like he was a spring and has been able to go in and get the Hurricanes their next try. There's going to be a bit of yawning going on, I think. So I said they needed to score before the 65th minute, and they did. And there as well, we will allow it. It is currently, I know that it's got 66 and a half, but I feel like with time zones and whatnot, you're right. Well, surely there's a minute or so either side that you're allowed. Well, that one, but now Geordie Barrett lining up this kick, needs to get it over, but it's going to be a tough kick. And I don't know whether or not he's going to get it. He does not get it. It goes away to the left-hand side. So the difference between these two sides is still going to remain at 10. Will the Wallabies beat England and Ireland, Craig? And there's CSX. Currently now 13 minutes left in this fixture. And that is one try back for the Hurricanes. They still need, like I mentioned, 2 more to be able to get themselves back into it. Here we go, another little yawn. Well, quite a big yawn, really, but we are still deciding whether or not we're doing the quarterfinals at 5 a.m. or we're doing the semi-finals at 8:50 a.m. for the women's 7 side of things with Ollie Satsford, Andy Muirhead. That is the change that they have decided to make there by the looks of it. But Andy Muirhead a bit disappointed with the fact that he wasn't able to have a huge impact throughout this game. In the last 5 tries, the Brumbies scored 3 in a row, but now the Hurricanes starting to build that momentum once again. Jamie Booth kicking that one downfield. It's a decent kick, and it's going to be about 40 metres out now, and the line out will be in favour of the Brumbies. Flat firing going to throw this one in. The Hurricanes 2 converted tries to win. Says Justin exactly right, or even 1 converted try and also another try that's unsuccessful. They will be able to do nicely, but Rob Valentini has been tackled well by Jamie Booth around the ankles. If they end up scoring now, this could be the end of the game for the Hurricanes, and you'd have to say that it might be a little bit too late for the Hurricanes if there was one more being put on the board now. Simone, he's had a good game, 1 converted try, 1 penalty for the draw, says Justin, and that will go to Golden Point, which would be, I feel like, a very fitting way to end this round with how close every game has been. James Slipper now in one of his first carries of this match. We did see the first carry of Tom Ross a little bit earlier on, and now we're seeing the second carry of Tom Ross, or Tom number 3, as I like to call him. Now passing off to Lolesio. Rob Valentini, couple big bump offs. Trying to turn the ball over was Proctor, unable to do so. Artie Savia making a good tackle with James Blackwell. He's ended up losing his footing around the side. Ryan Lonergan, he's almost been picked up and dropped by Savia. The ball is back on the side of the Hurricanes, and it is going to be now a scrum feed in favour of the away side. But Ryan Lonergan, I don't think he quite enjoyed getting picked up and dropped by Artie Savia there. Did have a brute amount of strength. Now sitting there 30 seconds away from 70 minutes gone in this game. And Artie Savia doing extremely well to be able to get his side half a chance of being able to get just a little bit closer back into this match. This seems like it is going to be another game that goes down to the wire, as long as the Hurricanes are the next team to score, that is. Shouldn't be an issue. This comment from Nick Berry saying everything should be fine and dandy between these two sides. But I'm going to have a quick look at the odds, the way that it is sitting currently for this matchup, because I know that the Brumbies will be favourites as it currently sits, but I'm interested to know how it is sitting other than that. The Brumbies, they are sitting there as $1.01 favourites. Hurricanes, they are huge underdogs for this matchup, paying $16. That's quite a lot. We'll go like this, and we will go like that. There we go. This ball's going to be fed in now for Jamie Booth. It's a big push from the Brumbies. The ball bounces out the back. Now Geordie Barrett attack and run. Nice pass on the outside off to Balin Sullivan. Salisi Rayasi down the wing. Oh, geez, he's got a hold of that one. And that one's going to be going dead by about 10 metres or so to get just a bit too much. And it has gone dead in goal. Right, the Brumbies, what one do they want to go with here? If I was them, I would go with the 22 dropout, I think, just to try and kick it further down the field, even though actually they've got the scrum option now near the touchline. Might not be a terrible option. Are we good for subs? Asked Nick Berry. Currently 9 minutes left here. And this fixture, and Tyrell Lomax here is going to be coming off the field now, and his replacement, Tavita Mafaleo, is now out there. Or actually, sorry, it's Pasalio Tossi. Was a late injection into the side that was due to no sign of Pori Rickety Stones for this match. I'm not sure whether or not that was injury-based or something else that was happening, but now it will be a 22 dropout here for the Brumbies, and Nola Alessio about to kick this one downfield. Some good distance on that drop kick. Down to Salisi Rayasi. Geordie Barrett going to be hitting it up. I know that there were rumours that that man was going to be transitioning to rugby league, and it looked like a bit of a league carry for Geordie. I think he actually turned them down, though, in the end. But now Artie Savia breaking through. Going forward, Rob Valentini unable to get the turnover. Jamie Booth now fires it back across. That is going to be Pasalio Tossi. In fact, it is actually Kariru Sims to get that carry. Now Billy Proctor. Backline movement starting to open up. And they are still going to have this one just on the side of the Canes. Geordie Barrett, short side. He's got numbers on his outside, but is unable to find any of them. It's a great low tackle made to 5 phases now for the Hurricanes, and as big as Zaya Walker-Leawere does attack the line. Balin Sullivan now, it was an interception pass thrown, and now it's going to be Kariru Sims who jumps on it. It's a knock-on advantage. There's me, the Chiefs. There's Tony there. I hope you are doing well, mate. Anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, I should say. Also, check out the Kiwi Lads Sport, as we are very close to our goal for the weekend of 850 subscribers. So if you do want to help us out, it is hugely appreciated. We are currently sitting on 843 over there. And I was going to watch my live stream after this. And you see my green screen. It says Brandon. So which live stream is it, Brandon? Do let me know. You're probably still going to have to remind me in like 8 minutes time, though, just because this last 10 minutes might be quite an intense one. Hudson Crichton getting taken on the field now, or getting put on the field. Lee Nicotel makes way for him to go through. Rob Valentini, for me, he's probably going to be the man of the match. And it looks like 6th of May, the Wallaroos, they will have their first matchup that has taken place. And I believe they are having a series up against Fiji, aren't they? Fijiana. Friday night. I'm just listening to see when that game is going to be taking place, whether or not it is an earlier game on the Friday night. I'm just going to have a quick wee geese, see what I can find, see you in 4 minutes. And then Australia one says Brandon there, but Leonard Cattell, he will be pretty happy with the performance that he's put on out there on the field. Where is the International Women's Rugby? There it is. Australia versus Fiji will be taking place at 7 p.m. 7 p.m. for Australia versus Fiji women. But that is at the same time as Super Rugby, I think, which probably wasn't the best choice of timing. I'll just have a quick look because I think there is a 7:05 game on the Saturday. Yeah, so it's either you watch the Blues or the Rebels, or Blues versus Rebels, or Fijiana versus Australia. That seems like a rough one to try and pick. They could have gone a little bit earlier, and then we could have watched both. But Len Apasai now out on the field, or Lenny Apasai, in fact, it was for the Hurricanes. Currently 72 minutes gone in this game, and they have got themselves a scrum feed just outside of the 22. Still 10 points difference between these two sides. Ready to put this ball in, Jamie Booth. A lot of pressure on him as TJ Perenara was taken off relatively early in this match. It's set. And it's going to be fed in by Jamie Booth off the back. Artie Savia likes his chances on the short side. Now Geordie Barrett tackled 22 metres out. I'm glad that they didn't pass it off to Julian Savia. It's a penalty to the Brumbies. And Luke Raymer, he's only just come out on the field. He's getting his head knocked. Someone was just knocking on his skull like it was a door. But he's been able to get that penalty. Right, what happens here on this breakdown? Because my first initial reaction was that there was a player who didn't quite get out. No, he did quite well. And that one, Ollie Satsford, he was working hard to try and get out of that breakdown. He made the low tackle. And then from there, he was able to just sneak out to the side. Luke Raymer on the ball and did end up winning the penalty. And that's going to be a big moment for them as well, with only 6.5 minutes left in this game now for Laufenga'a. Going to be feeding this ball in. Throw it into the back. It's taken very nicely at the front by Pete Samu. And they've got the advantage for the Brumbies. That is massive, as they will be able to use this ball for a couple minutes and then go back. And also they have got the other two good men. And there's CCX. It's just a couple early mistakes from the Hurricanes. The momentum has well and truly shifted in the Brumbies' favour, although Blake Gibson almost able to get the turnover. It's knocked backwards. Rush defence there. I believe it was big. Kariru Sims still got the advantage for the offside. Oh. Okay. They're going back initially for the penalty. In fact, sorry, it wasn't for offside. It was instead for part of the rolling maul in through the side. Currently now 74 minutes through. Slowly getting closer and closer to the end of this matchup. And penalties conceded in the second half. The Hurricanes, they have had 4 against them compared to the 1 that the Brumbies have had against them for this fixture. But now Tom Banks getting ready to kick it for the touchline. Like they're saying, the Hurricanes, the clock is now their worst enemy. Only 5.5 left. And every time there's a stoppage in play, every time there's a line out, every time there's a scrum, that takes away about 30 seconds out of the time that they will be able to come back into this game. And also, we've got this regulars, but New Zealand are one, Australia one, do have a green screen in it. Says a Brandon there, but now Falau Fainga'a About to throw this one back in for the Brumbies. Goes to the back, taken nicely by Tom Hooper. And now trying to get this one going for the rolling maul. It's slightly creeping forward, almost on the angle a little bit there. Doesn't look like it's going too badly for them. Trying to spin out of that tackle, Luke Reimer. It's called as a tackle now. Going back to Simone. And also we have got the, you got any other rugby matches after this, says Tony. So the next one that we are doing is actually the Sevens, which is taking place in about maybe 12 hours time. We're either going to be doing the quarterfinals or the semi-finals, or both, as the ones that we will be doing. And also we have got the do not, says Brandon there as well. But yeah, we have got the Sevens coming up relatively soon. And then I believe that is the only other one that we've got for in terms of rugby up until the weekend next week. We are going to have our lineup videos going up on the channel. And also for the preview now, nice backline movement. Hudson Crichton did end up rolling for Tom Banks. Gets it on the outside, trying to spin in. He's getting close to the touchline there. But just is able to stay in the field of play. Now Ryan Lonergan off to Tom Ross. And also we have got there, that's close to the line now. And the Brumbies getting closer and closer, creeping forward. Only a metre or so out, dropping the head there. Still just short. Now backline movement. It's going to be all. Okay, so Lisi Reasi is going to end up with a yellow card here. And he did try and slap the ball down. And if he got two hands to it, and also you got any games after this, and yeah, it says Tony Dykes, none at all other than the Sevens. That isn't about the 12 hours time, but deliberate lockdown. This is to see whether or not it is going to be a penalty try here. Okay. So they're saying he might have had a decent chance of maybe getting it back. Are they? Luke Reimer has possibly done a bit of a shoulder, but that was after. And also we've got the Chiefs, it is me. And then champion Brumbies, says Craig, and also the penalty try. And also we've got the Armored Chiefs person, and also just on my uncle's account, says Tony there. Okay, they're asking the question of whether or not it is a yellow card. They're just checking this one. I think this could be a penalty try. This might be the game. Says Novum, I think it could be. For them, and currently only 3.5 minutes left. I don't think anyone was coming across to stop Tom Banks there. Luke Reimer possibly shouldn't have. Okay. So Adi Savia was not too happy with that one because he was saying that his man, Salisi Reasi, was hit hard after trying to re-get that. Also, we've got the outside Hurricanes disappoint once again. And also, we've got their 40-25. And no, never mind, says Tony. And also, the Brumbies scored. Oh, no, they didn't. It is just going to be a yellow card, but now they are going for the corner at this stage. But yeah, Adi Savia was not impressed with Nick Berry there because Nick Berry, he was about to pull out a card before even chatting to him. So Adi Savia was like, chat to me before you get your card out. I want to know why you're giving it. And he did try and argue the point, but it didn't quite work out for him. And now a rolling more sideways here for the Brumbies for Laufanga. He's got this one at the back. They have been told to use it now. Ryan Lonergan going short side here, trying to pierce the gap. He's gone into touch. Brilliant defense from ball down. Thank you. This comment from Nick Berry. And also we've got that 40-25. There's Tony Dykes there. Or Chiefs, I guess I should call you. That one's gone out. And it is now going to be 2.5 minutes left in this game. And it's a big throw for Keanu Kariru-Sims. And so the Chiefs Blues Crusaders are our only hopes now. And this time a try embarrassing to the games. That one has now been stripped once again. And it's about a 3-on-1 out wide. Hudson Crichton backs himself. And this time he goes in for the try. And that is going to be the last try of the match, possibly for the Brumbies. It was brilliantly done, although they're going upstairs for the TMO by the looks of it. On-field decision is try. They're just going to be checking the grounding. I don't like the fact that it was Crichton who scored it because now I've got to try and remember how to spell his name. He's knocked it on. Right. Well, we're going to have to take that one back. There's no separation. Like they're asking, did he score it? Okay, they've said no. Okay, that is a try. Okay, fair enough. That is going to be another try. And Hudson Crichton, I think the commentators are very confused at this point. They are actually questioning pretty much every decision that's taken place. Now, it was a try, says Tony, and also I want the Hurricanes out of the competition. And there's says X. And also we have got there, it was a try, told you, says Tony. So I assume you are watching probably on Sky or something along those lines where you are ahead. So try not to put too many spoilers overall if you can avoid it. But currently now, it's going to be Noel Alessio. We'll get to line up this kick for the Brumbies. And it was well scored by the chin of Crichton, by his chinny chin, I guess you could say. Was able to put that ball down. 10,000 Super Rugby point for the Brumbies here. If Noel Alessio can get this one over. Yes, I am watching it on Sky. Congratulations, Brumbies, to the win over the Hurricanes. Says William there, and Chiefs are going to beat them. Says it was the Chiefs fan there. It's going to be a big game next week, Chiefs versus Brumbies. It's going to be a tough one for both of the sides, but now a minute and a bit left. And that one has gone over. And now it is going to make the score 42 points to the Brumbies and 25 to the Hurricanes now. So currently a 17-point difference between these two sides, and Australia teams destroyed New Zealand this round. Well done. Says Obi Snake there. Yeah, very nicely done, the Waratahs. They were victorious. Rebels were victorious over Moana Pacifica. And now the Brumbies have put a statement on the final game of the round and have been able to win it so far by 17 points. If they don't score again, Tom Banks, backline movement off to Tom Wright. He's kicked it out on the full. And that was slightly unfortunate. And also, we've got watching it live on Sky. And yeah, it says Chiefs. So yeah, I'm on Sky Go, so I'm a little bit behind. And it was the Blues. If this was the Blues, I'd be furious. Dislike the Brumbies a lot. But since it's the Hurricanes, I'm only slightly annoyed and can dislike the Hurricanes. And also New Zealand only live stream. I just checked and I got my friend. And there's Brandon, and now it's going to be passed back. Do you want to send me a link on Discord, Brandon? It might be easier, just rather than me trying to find it. But now Billy Proctor has got this ball in 5 seconds left. And watch put Chiefs on our next victim. And they are going to get thrashed, I believe that would be. But now that is going to be the siren. The Hurricanes, they still want to try and get themselves back in this game. I believe at this stage, if the Brumbies score another try, they get themselves a bonus point. The Hurricanes, they might have to try and be a little bit strategic with how they play this one. It said I missed it. And he's just woke up. It's still early. Why did this game have to be so early? Says Barry. And yeah, the worst thing is next Sunday, even early game between the Hurricanes and the Fijian draw at 3:35 p.m. New Zealand time. That's dropped again. That has summed up the day for the Hurricanes. Another knock on. And that is going to be the end of this matchup. The Brumbies win up 42 points to 25. And also we've got the other Crusaders and the Blues are also going to be thrashed by the Brumbies. CSX, it's a good question. GIO Stadium, they're playing very nicely there at the moment. I don't think they've actually lost a game at GIO Stadium this season for the Brumbies. Also, what's the leaderboard like? Says Obi Snakes. At one moment, I will go like this, and I will go like this. So pretty much before this game did take place, this is what it looked like. Now that the Brumbies have won this game, they move up to 39 points, but don't move up to first as of yet, as they didn't quite receive that bonus point. So it is still going to be the Blues at first, Brumbies in second, Crusaders third, Chiefs, then Reds, Waratahs, Hurricanes. They don't get a bonus point for this game, but they will still be on 24. And then the Rebels closing it out in the top 8 on a 15 points. So quite a gap between 8 and 7 at this current point in time with only a few rounds left. There's the big question of who will be jockeying for that number 7 and number 8 spot. More than likely that number 8 spot, though. Well, this one, and also what time by UQ lads? It is currently 5:54 p.m. over here in New Zealand. So it's not too bad of a time, but I think I'm about to go back to sleep in the next little while because I did end up staying up all night doing the URC and the 17-point win. What happened to a close win? Says Craig that also combine the Hurricanes with the Highlanders who may have an average performance each round. Says the Hex there, and also Chiefs in 4th and there as well. And also we have got there about the leaderboard. So, yeah, currently it's getting a lot closer with a couple of big wins for the Australian sides. The Waratahs, that was a must-win up against the Crusaders, and they have been able to do just that. So that is very awesome. And yes, please. And it says Tony, but nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like. And isn't it an hour behind in New Zealand? Yeah, daylight savings is very weird for us, but I believe we're a little bit behind. Or we're definitely, no, we're in front, sorry, but we're behind, I guess you could say. So we're currently 5:55 p.m. I think you guys are 7:55 a.m., aren't you? And IQ team are going to win against us in 2022. Says Craig Dead, also we got that 2 hours, says Tony. Nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like, be sure to check out the Kiwi Lad Sport channel, and I will see you all for the next one.